All right. Here we go, boys. Madrid lock-ins. We're doing first half of the cast chat here on YouTube. So hope you guys enjoy. It's Loud EG and then NRG Sentinels. Both are getting lock-ins for Madrid, whoever wins. So chat, hope you guys enjoy. Yeah, cheers. I'm gonna cut the cam, cut the mic.
But I think there's so much flexibility given the setup. We never saw a deadlock setup towards the A side of the map. It was deadlock B every single time, and now they're going to be able to fish into some other ideas.
What about for you, Vanity? What do you make of this?
I mean, I think the main thing I want to see from EG, I think I want to see a team pull out Cypher into the Loud Comp on Ascent, because I think that the no dive, the Cypher should have a field day, assuming they are like well prepared. I think they'll have a really good showing.
Okay, so you feel pretty. So do you feel good about EG in this situation or Loud?
If they pull out Cypher, maybe EG, but it's hard to bet against Loud, you know.
Okay.
It's hard to bet against Loud, and I won't. I have to predict Loud to win this. But if there was a team to have a great anti-strat and pull off an upset, it would be EG and Potter.
Yeah, I believe that. I think on Ascent, you need to get active. So I like the Cypher on your weaker side of the map, but you need to fight Loud before they're execing into you, because they will overwhelm you, and you're never getting back in. They dominate any sort of retake protocol. You need to get in front of them.
Well, folks, this is it. 4 teams are fighting for a trip to Madrid. Loud versus Evil Geniuses, NRG versus Sentinels. Day 9 of VCT America's kickoff starts right now.
Is that going to be enough? They know where Ned is. He's dropped him. Another clutch! Superman!
Acaba caindo cedo. Faz o Cauã. Avançou em elevador. Cauãzinho!
Playoffs, everybody. Now it's EG versus Loud. The winners qualify for Masters Madrid.
They're in a blender. The Red Bull clutch for EG as they're headed to playoffs.
For us to be in playoffs feels really, really good, but let's just show that we can qualify.
Independente de quem, vamos preparar da mesma forma e sempre focado em vencer e não pensando em possíveis vagas e tudo mais.
Loud, they're very innovative, they do crazy things, they have a great IGL. I think Sadak is one of the best IGLs in the world.
Vai Sadak, é nessa mesmo, vai, é na tua, Manito, vamos ver, ele pode brilhar, vem o primeiro, vai tu, vai Sadak!
It's going to be a fun match no matter what.
Diretamente da Riot Games Arena, recebam o primeiro semifinalista que vem renovado e criando o seu próprio meta. Faz barulho pra Loud!
Let's bring out their opponents. Make some noise for your 2023 World Champions, Evil Geniuses!
the fact that both of these teams on stage, organizations, have world championship gold hoisted over their head. These are two completely different rosters coming in with a point to prove. And make sure, if you guys are out there, you're supporting your favorite team, get those capsules. They're available in-game right now, so go nuts. But let's go ahead and talk about this matchup because, yeah, you have two teams that are coming into this with a ton to prove. This is it. Last stop, or rather, next stop is Madrid.
This Loud, reinventing themselves for this season, is the clear favorite in this matchup. But EG is the biggest question mark you could possibly have. They've only played 2 maps. They only had to play 1 match. And this is the team known for innovating. These are the 2 innovators on the stage right now. And I really think this game can be won or lost in what the coaches, what the leaders have prepped ahead of time to counter their opponents' off-kilter comps.
Exactly. I mean, 2 completely different reads on the meta between these 2 teams. But for Evil Geniuses, a team that splintered after winning that championship, this is now a chance for 1 player and 1 coach to return to the international stage. There'll be a chance for a couple of those other players, but for the 2 that stuck around, to be able to get that done here with the BO3 would be huge for Potter and Jaw.
I love that it's a new team and Potter still has the individual daps for every member of her team.
Yes.
That's so sick.
Oh, man. Vanity, my friend. What are you seeing here? What are you feeling right now?
I saw an interesting agent.
Oh, yeah?
Wait to see it, but I think I saw it on Jajimo's screen. Could be wrong.
Oh, boy, yeah. Well, I mean, leave it up to the boy to go ahead and bust out some wild stuff.
What do you want to see them play into this comp? You were mentioning the Cypher earlier. Do you just switch out the KJ?
I think just swapping the Cypher for Killjoy would be a really... Like, in theory, that should play really well into the Phoenix comp, the Phoenix Breach comp, because they don't have a lot to deal with the trips. And a lot of the new Cypher trips on this map are very difficult to deal with without a Sova, and they also do not play Sova.
How do you deal with this comp when you're on the attack, though?
It's hard. I think you need to fight into them. I think a lot of teams, because of the limited footage, don't have the ability to fight into the comps, and or into Loud very well, and they let them play the set retakes.
Yeah, they also abuse you if you have poor protocols, right? Because they constantly want to be using their flashes to fight into you. So if you don't have anti-flash, right? If you're not buddying up to be able to counter that out, you are just going to get destroyed.
They are running back the comp. Loud sticking to that Phoenix idea. The real question is, what is EG picking? Is it just a 1-for-1 substitution? Or I think there is also an option. You say kind of setting them off kilter. If they play something similar into the Loud comp, like some kind of multi-flash variant of their own, I think that could be sick as well.
Yeah, I think the main idea is because Loud in almost all of their attack setups want to split into the side against you to compensate for the fact they have no dive. You don't want to be stuck in one singular choke that you have to walk out from. Is EG need to attack into one of those 2 lanes. If you dominate mid control, for example, if you can get past the enemy Viper wall, the Omen smokes they put in mid, you're going to be able to severely limit what EG's comp should in theory be able to do.
Oof. Well, we did get a few interesting lock-ins, though. Cypher is coming in here, so we are getting the Cypher for EG, which is what you wanted to see happen. And that's and like for those who probably weren't coming into this, what should people be expecting from that Cypher in relation to this composition?
I think the main thing that Cypher does a great job at on this map, especially against a team with no dive, they also have no Sova. They can't deal with the trips. There's so many like unbreakable trips you can place throughout the map that the attacking team just can't deal with unless you hit a KO knife on him.
Yeah, I think your only options are KO knife and ult round, although if KO ever has ult, Cypher will just play off of the site where his trips are set up. One thing you do actually have is the Breach Blast, which can be pretty effective. We've seen that on Sunset especially for denying some of those untouchable, trips right against the wall. So maybe there's some options if they can figure out where those trips are being consistently placed to be able to blast them.
On this attacking side for EG, I'm really interested to see, like you were mentioning, how they're going to be dealing with those retakes. Loud's floods are really tough to contend with. I think similar to their defense, they have to be trying to get ahead, find these picks early. If you allow on either side of the map Loud to set up for one of their set takes or retakes, you just get ran over. This game is going to come down to the prep from EG.
And we're down and we are ready to go. This is it, folks. Our first map's about to be underway, so let's go ahead and make some big noise for your casters. It's Vansili and Riv.
A very exciting game is upon us here, Riv, because EG versus Loud. It's a great series to see who's going to make it to Madrid, but at the desk, Mimi was talking about it. What type of preparation EG is going to bring to the table right now? Because when I looked at the vetoes and I saw a set, I was like, this is amazing. They're probably going to anti-strat Loud. They're going to come up with a new comp, but you're playing a very defaulty, similar comp, some honest Valorant from EG. So I want to know what they're working on.
It is. How much have they cooked? Again, going back to Ascent, where Loud continues to use this comp that almost seems universal across their maps with 1 or 2 changes in it, and still can be used effectively against teams. So EG's had a lot to look at against this comp, just not across a lot of maps, I'd say. What can they do? What homework has EG cooked up? The wall goes out normal for a mid push to pressure there, and EG will actually present themselves in mid to start this off. And I think that's one thing EG has to do is set the pace against Loud. Push out, get in Loud's face, and don't let Sadak start to run the map.
Yeah. Wanting to fight right away, something that Ender has mentioned on this too, and you saw the first position, first contact towards A main, and there was that pivot towards this lane if it was needed, towards the B lane. Jogimo in this jet roll, positioned right by the Kench bench, but now Superman has that contact against Sadak.
Much slower first round than we're usually seeing. Teams have been rushing up Cat, they've been pressuring towards A main a little bit, and Superman not knowing there was already a push-off.
And that's how you fight back. Velez turns around, instantly traded by nature. That now activates Loud to try to move in the B side, all denied by the crossfire setup of EG. And EG starts off very well with this pistol round.
Superman and Jogimo setting up a push in mid. No idea that was happening. Loud tries to creep through, doesn't work. A good read by Evil Geniuses that Loud would take that slow and look for the outside extremity lurks. Big push by EG in mid, and Loud's gonna remember that. This mid wall here will continue to keep that pressure. We'll see if Les tries to tinker with it a little bit and give EG something to think about as these rounds go on. Loud's composition is very strong at flooding A. It'll be interesting to see if EG wants to stay in sight, try to stave off this attack of a Phoenix Molly, an aftershock from Kalinzine, Sadak's knife. It was very hard for Sentinels to do that. Superman starts off though, takes that Molly out right away.
You even see the outlaw coming out of Jogimo. So you're seeing the positioning is quite different from EG as well. Out in the open, forced to open a little bit more forward to avoid the utility being thrown out from Loud. And that's some tells, at least from how EG is going to be positioned here, as Loud will continue to lose a couple of players, but build this economy for their gun round in round number 3.
Taking space wherever they can. Mid round for round 1 for EG. And look at APOF was all the way out by that little outhouse, and now he goes back in. So figuring that they have to reset. EG playing it smart here to not lose any numbers, because they know Tui's and Kawazine can do some damage here. So just waiting this last round out. EG getting the first few rounds is going to feel good. Flexing over into the bonus is really what we're going to have to watch here for, because I think Kalinzine and Sadak and the rest of the team are going to put a lot into this first buy round.
You're looking for active information. Again, 40 position, this on the camera, spotting one of them. Well, you do have Tui's lurked up all in the middle. Derek was waiting very passively towards the spawn and is still watching it. So EG's making sure they're not getting backstabbed for now. We finally squeaked through. Derek finally senses it, turns around, still loses that fight against the Ghost. But APOF is going to slow things down. There's only 10 seconds left. Tui's with no HP, drop down, and EG they score a pretty decent second round here.
Interesting to see getting that 300 to everybody from the plant was so important there. If they could just get into sight and get the plant down, they would have been pretty much fine with that. The win, obviously, would have been a huge boon, but a good hold by EG, not letting any of that happen. Staying very far back on defense, giving that respect required for Loud. So we get to our first purchase round here. Is Loud going to go for that shark attack on A? What we're just talking about. The site is flooded with util. It's nearly impossible to stay in it, especially with the low buy EG may have. They stay in the same defensive spots though here to anchor A with 3 players, knowing this is what Loud likes to run. So we're going to try to meet it head on right off the bat here on this bonus round.
Tight angle being held on the A site. The pivot from Loud towards B. Recon dart avoided by Les. Allowing for EG to even bring a camera forward above the B door. As we're trying to find it for Les, this will be a great opportunity here to just waste that clock down, because if Loud does not want to make a move here. There he goes. But Derek still has his drone. So he might start getting the position to use it here. But as the aftershock comes out, looks like Loud wants to execute in the B site right away. Apoc repositioning on the left side of the cage, looking back, and as it comes down, he only has a ghost. Beautiful flash, but he can't get a kill. At least Derek is there to spam with the Ares towards the back of the site. Underhand flash, spotting QCK, dropping him down. A 3-on-3 as Loud is still stuck on the lane, trying to move into B site. Derek in the back, just trying to waste the clock down, waiting for his teammates to come in. A double jump down for Loud. As Joggable comes in from behind, though. 2 executions with the ghost. 2-ace alone. Smoke is out. 1v1 towards the spawn. As he gets hit by the paranoia, Superman repositions again. And 2-ace, he's gonna have to come up big here. Spike is down out in the open in the back of the B site. The other smoke disappears, the gun sticks out. Should be an easy kill. Took a bit, but at least got it done. Now pushing forward. Oh! Superman almost caught him! But 2-ace pulls it right on time to get the Red Bull clutch.
And Superman has been him in these situations. Definitely a lot of pressure on 2-ace there. Comes up huge, able to bring out the 2 frags required to get in there. And this was big. Going into the site, you could hear that the Viper gas was up. And the wall that they've been using as we watch the retake is really pressuring Evil Geniuses on Cat. 2 members of EG were still at Cat, wondering if this mid wall that Loud is using as they rotated to B was being pressured. Again, Loud throw this mid wall, and it's starting to play with the mind of EG here and whether or not somebody will be behind it. That's all you want. You want it to create that pressure. You get the Odin purchase out of nature, and he just keeps going. The ping's coming through, but that one too far away. Another Odin's everywhere.
Double Odin for the crossfire. All of Loud dropping like flies. Winning QCK and Calzine on different extremities. Even getting a ping out on Calzine, falling back. Apoth is pushing forward. And now it seems as though your questions have been answered here, Ender. EG's here to fight back against Loud. QCK hit by the Paranoid, falling back towards the catwalk. Dropped by Joggable, covering his teammate as EG scores a flawless round.
2 Odins and an Operator? Imagine losing this round. You would be asking for a loan at that point. EG put so much into this round, and they have the utility to back up Odins on both sides of the map here. And the things you need to do is you need to be able to catch Loud off guard, because Loud come at you fearless. They say that. They do everything to play styles to meta. And you gotta shoot fearless. 2 Odins across the map with an Operator on shore. They have locked down the defensive side there on that buy round.
Key thing for EG is that they always want to have fun here. It definitely shows until this time with that confidence, swinging out towards A main, punished right away as Joggable falls, and that's also down for EG.
They slow this one right down. It's still 3 for EG over towards A. Obviously, they've lost Joggable now, but they continue to run this strategy. Happy with the retake it provides and how they might be able to stop Loud here. And now we're going to get to see how Loud activates into A. It's basically impossible to be in here with everything coming through, and EG will not. So retake here from both sides. See how EG takes to this. It's going to be a long flank check here by Apoth, so they have a little bit of time before they're diving into the site.
The first real test here for EG. What will the retake look like when you're playing such a default comp on Ascent? The Owl Drone getting nullified by the null command set by Sadak down towards the generator. As Derek is trying to see if there's going to be a pinch around from the back. The late lurks were actually very prominent for Loud, but it's actually less, holding towards the Gelato with the off angle behind the chairs, wins that fight. And that dwindles down the chances of EG for the retake. Derek's trying to make it a little bit expensive here, spraying towards the hell, almost connecting into others. Kawadzine's low on HP. 2-ace is at 1. You know this fight's gonna go off no matter what. But if you can make it expensive, you'll be happy with the results so far for EG.
It's a matter of time right before we see the null command come in from Loud. Sadak has always been the one that focuses the ultimate orbs when they get A main control, when they go to B, focusing up, being able to take the site and deny your opponents any of their abilities. And it took Loud this round just a quick step, right? 1 step faster than they have been a few rounds, and they actually catch an Operator with QCK's Sheriff. So you can see just by the half second, by the millisecond, what's kind of changing these rounds, and that was a great opening kill by Loud to bring that conversion in their favor. Towards top mid, still working the same wall here, and it looks like EG's back to a bit of a pistol round strat as Derek lets loose. looking to just sort around here on the side of Loud, which way they're going, see if you can get any tags. Still have the operator online for Jogamo with Blade Storm right behind that.
They're actually playing hopscotch there above the Hunter's Fury beams, and they stayed alive. So that actually is great for Loud to continue to hold that pressure towards the A main. As Sadak was looking up for that 1v1 against Jogamo, the one that usually lurks alone on an initiator roll, still wins the opening kill on the attack with an operator on the attack, nonetheless.
B main control again for EG. They're getting a lot for free, but Loud is figuring this out, so it may actually punish them. Superman with that 6 cents after a ping says probably more than one person there to try for the 1v1, and they back up into B. But that's more info. Derek's ready to just lace anybody that comes through B main now, and that sonar bolt is up.
Meanwhile, there was a knife being thrown by Sadak towards A main, so he's trying to draw some defenders from EG towards this A side. There's a smoke out there, a mid-round pivot from Loud, all the way towards mid, a run through the wall. But Superman could not even catch one. Les was solo on HP here, as Nature is going to look for the hero play. The underhand flash runs out, hit by the Paranoia. Beautiful read by Tui's and the rest of Loud. They'll get a plant here, as Apoth can't score. He's backstabbed. So far, you're looking at this. EG's been so good on the timing, but Loud has been quicker on the draw.
Even looking for Apoth there as Derek again from heaven tries to get a few more kills in. Tui should be able to find this. But yeah, looking for Apoth on the late lurk, right? They had sight and they said, there's no way Apoth's going through spawn. Let's look for him now, and still we're able to find him. Loud has a bit of a read now on the game. They've gotten EG stuck in the pace that Loud wants to play it.
You have to be quick on the reaction for both of those oppers. And
that's
again,
wild.
It's really Loud winning these duels. The fast flicks for the kills, tying the game 3-3, putting EG in a difficult position in terms of economy. Only a Bucky in hand of Apoth, solo anchoring the B side while you have this select from EG. Blade Storm looking for aggression, potential trap play, the Paranoia, the pinch from both ends. Chusuke and Tui's fall. Jogamo continuing the backstab here, but stopped by Sadak and Kawadzin on both extremities. The shot's missing a bit, allowing Superman to get that backstab onto Sadak. Now he's alone, isolating one, turns around for the kill into Les. And it's Kawadzin alone at 3 HP. The TP away so he could meet up with Apoth. And EG in a great spot for a Thrifty.
They got to know they've had to deliver the damage that's been done right now to Kawadzin. Pressure on his shoulders. You have to imagine there's no way he swings this angle, right?
He's got a minute to work with. Well, now he's going to have to swing because that hack just came out. There's that second swing, and Superman is there.
Oh my gosh. Just the tiniest bits of information escalating the fight one after the other, but EG's able to come up with it. A lot of damage being done here, and EG's still dipping into the bank account to go for 2 Odins and the operator. Incredibly suppressive across the map. You almost can't peek once you hear those Odins ringing out, and then when you do want to peek an angle, that's got the operator on it. So Loud needs to use their utility to get everywhere right now. In spots they don't want to be using utility. We saw that happen towards mid. Sadak was able to get the op peek, and that's what it's coming down to. Just contact operator peaks between these two. Let's see the start of this one again. The Odins ring out, and they are going to be faking a little bit towards A to start. Loud is as they head now towards B. This main control though.
Talking about with the contact and the kill. Apoth going backwards. Fadeaway call to QCK, and man, Loud cannot even move forward around the bend of Garage of the B main. The underhand flag for a double peek. Too easy for Jogamo. Kawadzin.
My God.
As well as another flawless closed in by EG.
The way they trade these rounds, you're like, oh man, now this team's being red. Now the EG doesn't have it, and EG comes back with 2 rounds like that. It doesn't even look like Loud knows which side of the map is theirs, because EG's already on the offensive side from defense here, pushing up into the Odin. Something you usually frown upon, but Jogamo is absolutely feeling himself right now. An incredible 4K on the solid. The vibes are so good right now for Evil Geniuses after that. We are going to get a Loud time out to sort out how they can start to organize around 2 Odins and an operator, right? Usually you're just fighting against utility, but You're not even seeing EG's util game right now. You're just catching bullets.
Also trap plays on Thrifties, as you saw from that push from the Bladestorm, and that was also not done behind a timeout from EG. They already had a game plan going through that one as, hey, if a Thrifty happens, if we have to eco, we might find a way to actually trap down Loud. And this is what I'm loving to see so far. You're not giving Loud an opportunity to really go for those big set executes that Loud is known for this composition.
Right.
Remember
No
when we
time.
talk about all those mollies and aftershocks and whatnot that's going on in these executions against a team like Sentinels? We're like, oh my god, there's so much util. I don't know what to do against this. Well, they don't even have a time to set up.
Imagine they still try to go A. Let's put that on the table, is that they go A and one of these Odins is tree and you just shoot through the smoke and tree, right? And you still have the Sova if Derek is there. Once you need to get that retake going, they have a lot of solutions here just by putting the Odins in to what Loud wants to put on the table. All right, that 3-2 split. Loud's going to be over towards the right side. Hopefully, maybe faking a few people getting caught in the knife and then faking it out. Loud has not had the same success hitting A here on this Ascent match.
Trying to double initiator pressure towards the A main. You saw the setup from Kawadzin here and Sadak trying to push down to see if the Opera's going to be close. And while you're working the extremities, something that Loud also likes to do in their defaults now, working those extremities. Looks like we had an inkling for Derek. Went for the spray through the wall and already drops less. That's going to make it difficult for the mid control right now for the mid round for Loud.
This wall that creates that kind of pressure all the time, if it's up, you have to wonder. No longer a care for EG, and now it's smoked. So you see Loud having to put different kind of controller utility there to keep that pressure up, keep EG thinking, and hopefully get the numbers correct on the A hit here.
They hit the leg shot there. Nature is spraying towards that tree, as you mentioned, here, Riven. Tui's already falls. Not really giving a chance once again for Loud to cross in the site.
What are you gonna do? Especially on the low buy.
Exactly. Low buy Thrifty trying to make the economy expensive against EG, but EG continuing to be one step ahead. This shot missing, but the previous one was quite clean.
You can see though, Jog's feeling it. Like to go for quick peeks like that, trying to slide in and out. You know the player is feeling the groove right there. Backs up though, still plays it smart. Kawadzin.
All this a bait.
Little Guardian work. Yeah, Apoth always on the lurk.
Exactly. Ooh. Give me a chance here for Apoth to come behind, but he gets and gives all that information, the paranoia even, just to secure the kill.
Yeah.
EG trying to slowly actually trying to find their groove, and we're actually getting it here.
And it is the question of what can Loud do now? Because you're dealing with so much chip damage. If it's not a full member down, you are chipped down somehow by this EG composition and these Odins or however they're firing through smokes before you start. There's such an advantage here that they have against Loud in these situations. Again, stacking 3 straight up in the front of A. Like you said, Vance, not giving Loud all this time to set up what they need for the strats. They can't just source the ult orbs that they need. Quite a few ultimates on this round, so they won't need it. But this should be your Sadak running in, Rolling Thunder, and maybe even the Viper's Pit. So there's one.
Now they have to play shorties.
Great
Getting
paranoia.
hit by the Rolling Thunder. Jogmo trying to move in, a one and done pretty much. Manages to escape on time. Aftershock avoids it. Superman TP on the top. Null Command comes out. They can't cross through. Now on the top of the bricks, Superman is trying to close it down, waiting for a Siemens to come back. The fadeaway kill as he drops and finally gets traded off. A res comes up from Les. TP in the generator for Loud as they have the player advantage and the site also have a pit. Usually used towards the spawn, or should I say the heaven side. As you see it right now being depleted.
Spike planted.
Deployed as the Owl Drone also deployed from Derek. Looking for that Odin spray. But Les stays alive, full health and healthy. As the pit, it will also stay up.
Apoth. Beautiful clutch kill right there.
There's that ping, even a recon dart's available for Derek. There's that second ping. Recon goes towards the back. The spray towards Dice as Apoth wins that fight. Pit is still up as Les is trying to hold his ground behind his own pit.
Oh my god.
Running through. Apoth is there for the trade.
What? He held down W and mouse one and said, trade me. That's all they needed to do. This is how insane it is with the Odin, how much pressure they can create, and they come through Apoth with a huge kill on the flank there. Pretty much help secure this round, because then they can get in with the Cypher ult and the Sova utility. It doesn't matter if you have the Viper's Pit there. And can we say they just denied a complete Rolling Thunder with a paranoia? They rolling Thunder to get into the site, and Loud stood at A main entrance. They were stopped. That's crazy. EG is reading them like a book right now. 7-3 here from the defensive side. Double Odin up back online.
Careful. And it's a great call with that Paranoia, because that Paranoia also allowed Superman to TP on the top of bricks, and that was checked, allowing EG to really hold their ground, not allowing Loud to cross over. Bob continues to be equipped this time for Jogimo on the first layer of the bricks at A main. QCK giving his position away with the flash just to gain some space, fall back, and grab the ult.
Loud is, they just want those orbs now. They'll take a fight if it comes to them, but EG is going to just be kind of baiting that out. They've been pushing forward, getting in the face of Loud now, and now it's all quiet, forcing Loud to make the move. Hearing those Odins, striking fear into the heart.
The thing too for EG is when you're continuing to look at the setup for the Cypher, right, with this comp, look at where he's placing these trips. Not really too much towards the market, but let's hold that thought. Jogimo's looking for a play. Stops the ult from QCK and looks for seconds. Hit now by the Paranoia, updrafting away. Superman to save him by spraying behind from Dice into the smoke. Nature, meanwhile, pulled up his null command, not allowing Loud to add more utility for their initiation in the A site.
Here.
As things calms down,
30
it's
seconds left.
looking difficult here for Loud to regain the space back in the A site. Attention comes down to this play on Tree. Tui's walking forward as the wall comes down on the attack, catching Nature off guard, but Nature able to survive, allowing Jogimo to push forward. Finally gets traded out. 10 seconds left on the clock. That trip hit by less. Superman with the third in a round. Wow. And EG is definitely looking clean now. He took a couple of rounds to warm up. You're definitely seeing a lot of clean shots here.
Before the switch.
Incredible to see what EG is putting on the server from last week to this week. There was slight desyncs and a few of the protocols. We're not even seeing any of that now. And the aggression from Jogimo, again, we said he felt online earlier with the way he's peaking. He's taking the entire fight by himself to start. You can say, you know, I might go down, doesn't matter. He is playing so effectively against the aggression that Loud wants to try.
I want to do it again. The recon dart into B link for a spray out from the link. The second one coming in from B main, but this time no contact. Loud stayed all the way back towards the spawn, waiting for that aggression coming out from EG to finally start activating outside of their spawn to gain position.
I mean, what can Loud do for this last round, right? They've tried to work mid a few times. They find Superman and Jogimo some. They try to work Cat. They find the Odin always of Nature. It seems like mid wants to be a bit of a look this time, but they're going to go back to A, block the spike across here.
Nature's in a bad spot here, hit by the flash, but able to throw a molly down. QCK's around the corner.
Yeah.
Still has one more. Actually doesn't have any flashes himself. QCK got dropped by Superman as Loud was looking to look for an execution in the A site. Fault line finally pushes Nature's away. Here's the ult canceled out. Jogimo with the headshot onto Kawatzin with the Blade Storm, a second one up.
Oh my gosh.
These are quick rounds in the end for EG, but at the end of the day, it's always these trades where they come out on top.
Absolutely ridiculous play coming out of EG on that first round. Let's see if they can bring the momentum onto the attack side.
And that said, we'll have to see what will happen here on that second half. But so far, again, it's all this position that we'd be talking about for EG, the aggression that comes out from either the side. I mean, look at them being able to push out from B main. We'll have to talk about that Cypher later on, too. Hopefully I'll have a chance to talk about it on the analyst desk as well at some point, but at least Loud is still all smiles.
Yeah, the way that Loud was not able to work the composition is a huge change, which shows you we got what we expected out of EG and that they came to counter.
And now let's toss it to Ender, where he's got some stuff to say on the Telestrator.
Let's preview Loud's next half of defense using a game that they've already played versus Sentinels. Loud's comp is all about being able to fight on 4 fronts, and there's 4 lanes that attackers can use on Ascent. First of all, you've got the solo selfish flashers of Phoenix and KO. You've got the Omen one-ways, that's 3. Then this poor little guy right here, Viper, needs some help, so you've got a fault line to be able to put him on the line. And Breach can move around the map, and especially from Market, influence just about everything. So as you get into this round, they end up holding that fault line for just a little bit, because Loud need to stay step forward for information. There, they use the fault line, peek on with it, and look to break the Killjoy turret. But the entire idea is about putting down this Viper's Pit for stall. But what do Loud do when they are faced with some aggression? They fast rotate into the site. Let's zoom in on that one because everyone is flooding out through CT. At the same time, Omen steps up in Tay. Reminder, to get information, they must move forward. That's exactly what they do on A in the majority of their rounds. The other interesting thing about how Loud like to play this B site is in past iterations of this team, last year, they would actually put down a Viper wall that allowed them to flood into the back site. Kind of went like that, and they could take that line in. Now they've got this powerful wall in mid, but because they're running the Phoenix, it allows them to throw that up right here from QCK. Check that out. He can flash through the wall, fight forward, or they can just flood into the backside. Previously, they played triple into backside, so Sentinels, they don't want to deal with that. They want to run away, but what are they doing? They're running straight into an Omen, lights out. Loud are going to play forward, and they're going to look to flood back in. EG must be ready.
Thank you so much, Ender, indeed. They talk about the preparation on the analyst desk before going to this game. What will EG bring out in this game? So a nice little breakdown as how Loud played the defensive side against Sentinels. Will they run the same thing this time around, and can EG be ready for that?
And an even different wall as well here that splits the site even more for a retake from that C side that Ender was just talking about. Really cool stuff. So they aren't favoring the mid as much. Loud will now have to watch mid since they don't have that Sentinel, and Sadak's always wanted to do that. We know he'll do it on split, now on Ascent. They're gonna be pushing B though. That wall comes up. Oh my God.
Almost trying to get that trap play to allow Jogimo to get the kill into market. Superman moved forward, caught one off guard, but misses a shot. That might be it for him right there. The fault line hits him, he gets stunned out, and he gets dropped down. Meanwhile, the rest of EG trying to trade it back. Nature moving forward, but there's a lurk from Apop. Nice kill on to 2Es, but the other two has fallen down, leaving out Derek alone on a 3 versus 1. And again, catching players off guard, but when you miss those shots, it's easy for Loud to punish.
Really cool, like you said, going for a quick trap, trying to dive in and figure out who would be playing mid there. Wow, Sadak able to write that, drop Jogamo as he came flying through, and since nobody from EG can close that gap, they kind of discombobulated the strat overall, and we saw Loud taking over, pushing around as Ender said they would on the other extremities. So, how do they keep this going? Looks like we'll get those 0 points over towards A, a little bit of detection. Kawanzine playing that tree area so you can get fault lines on towards either side of the map. Yeah, a back and forth 0 point there. Oh my gosh, fans.
Just trying to move forward here to build on some ult points. Sadak is able to get 1, 2Es falls. Meanwhile, everybody else from Loud closing in when Les won his duel against Apop towards B main. There's a double flank. Pretty much that happened. One on Cat, split off, the other one flanking from A main. Nature capitalizing on 1 kill, but no plans for EG for their second round.
Loud pretty clean there, only losing a few easy weapons to pick back up, so that's going to be really nice for the economy as they start off here. And I think one of the things we see a lot from Loud is that once they get on the defensive side, they just have such incredible decision making in the moment that makes you really can't think they can win a situation. They pull around, they back up, wait for a flank. Their patience is incredible, and I think that's what makes them so strong, is they know how much time they have to work with. Awesome little one-way on the light there. They set up for Cat. But yeah, Loud knows exactly how much time they have to work with, and I think that's one of the things that makes them so dangerous. Here we get into round 15. Just the 2-3 split. Trying to get some pop flashes around. A lot of times, once you get your KO on Cat, there's a lot of areas you can get a really nice flash to. Especially if Jogamo starts to head towards mid. Another wall from Loud. They keep switching it up. Definitely keeping EG guessing too. Gonna cover a bit of mid, but also make them weave into that A section of main to make it hard. We're getting down to a minute here, so EG's gonna have to consider Loud will start to anchor the sites a little bit more, and it's gonna be tougher to get him out.
At the minute mark, look at the activation of Loud pushing out on the extremities, looking for a potential late flank once again. But Superman is waiting right here while EG now working the map. It's now up to Loud to try to find that information in the mid-round, and there's that first contact out in the open. Sadak gets caught, but manages to fall back on time. Cowanzine down to 24-2 as Apop push forward towards B main, giving a chance now for EG to pick up the spike, flood back within B, and go for this plant.
Really nice market flood. Fans, I could see this something being something that EG does constantly. With no Sentinel utility here for Loud, they can mess with mid a lot of this game and give Loud trouble. Here, a full push through. We'll see the retake.
It's 1 for 1. Nice, beautiful double swing that comes out from Loud. Superman waiting for the first contact for the player on lane to throw out the paranoia out. Now the aftershock flushing out towards Logs. Loud looking to move in any second now. Apoth hears a TP across. Joggable hiding in the smoke just at the bottom of the staircase, but Loud are just running in one by one. And with the clock ticking down on his spike, it's making it so difficult here for Loud to move in. Sadak's gonna be the last player staying with no bullets left in the chamber of the Stinger. And EG, they convert their gun round.
Jogamo almost getting another 4K there, stepping forward, ready to take the fight to Loud as they try to flood in. That was almost 3 of them towards Switch there as they were covering each other, trying to trade, but EG is still finding the openings and finding the back of Loud, which is usually quite a hard thing to do. They trade hard, they're very good at anchoring each other's frags. And EG is just finding their way under Loud's skin here. Round 4, weapons on both sides. Not really any low armor to look at except for Nature and Sadak here. Bit of a different change. EG just puts the 3 members over towards the B side now. And another look from Loud. We've seen this wall before, able to cover Cat and lane side of B and stop that mid pressure a little bit that EG was just taking.
And they walk out for contact. Never expected it. Jogamo got denied right away, and there was no trade coming out. Owl drone, at least from Nature. Here's the footsteps of players running away inside market to B. But losing Jogamo early is going to hurt EG right now. QCK playing on the other side of Cat. Here's a weapon being dropped and picked up here for Nature to fall back, and still have to work this map here for EG. They have this protocol is still holding the extremities and using the middle for control.
And so many, EG's ready to take so many 1v1s. 1B main, 1A main. 2 members, however, trading in mid, but you just see how confident they are to push all extremities right now with this mid pressure happening.
Nature flashing out towards the spawn, even a recon dart to see if they can maybe start pushing towards the spawn. That's why we don't really see the smoke. Well, there you go. It finally comes out from M2. Out from Superman. And now we'll pivot EG now to try to work towards this B site, but the runways this time is on the staircase of the B site. Works out quite well. Apoth couldn't get the lurk in, and with 16 seconds left, it's really not giving any chances for EG to move through, yet they're still committing to it. Aftershock comes out, less supporting Kawadzin in the back of the B site. And that should be the name of the game. Save the last 2 if you can. They've already lost Nature, but Loud has a flawless in the end.
What a nice, you had to jinx it, didn't you?
Yeah, you know.
What a nice round from Loud, though. Honestly, we were saying that EG's confident. I was saying they're confident. They're pushing the sides. They're ready to take 1v1s. And Loud recognizes that a bit as well. EG's hot right now. You don't just peek corners against a team that's flowing like this. So Loud backs up into the site, causes EG to walk into a little bit more of the danger zone, and then they start collapsing on EG, which is not what EG has been presented with the first few rounds. Loud's been getting up in their face, losing the trades. EG has a better time getting into sight, and they don't have to use as much util there. Loud made EG work for it, and EG could not find the answer.
It almost feels like the script kind of flipped a bit here, because it's now Loud bringing the fight to EG on defense, where EG was really trying to go for the setup plays. Again, looking for that Cat control, being surprised by QCK, moving very slowly after losing Jogimo. Okay, we're just going to move and get our ones, but not really trying to do those funnies of sliding out, pushing through, double swings, going for the trades. And if you listen to those EG comms in that game against G2, Potter mentions that through her timeouts towards the end. Like, really try to work together, gas each other up, be confident, play to win, don't play to lose.
Get those vibes, don't be bums.
Exactly.
They're bums, as Nature would say. The Loud fans ready to see a few rounds come back in their favor here. They do have Sadak's null command. Beautiful retake for a site there. Less just 1 off an orb if they can gain B main control. If we remember how much EG used that on defense to control the map and understand where Loud was going, we'll see if Loud starts to get themselves some main control to turn the map around. All right, we're in. Apoth's going to be on that side. A 4-1 split from EG. And yeah, they will. They start to pressure, even playing anti-flash in there. Kawadzin is ready with less. Oh my word.
Usually on these timeouts, you're trying to make plays. So Apoth is solo with this Guardian on the B site, where they're just waiting patiently to maybe flood towards this A site. But Apoth just got caught, just got dropped. And there's that jump peek from QCK, spawning the remaining roster of EG, holding towards the A site, controlling this orb, grabbing a Blade Storm for Jogimo.
This really allows Loud to just kind of solidify their members in a site. You get the peak mid from Kalanzine, so they don't get the lurk that EG has had a few rounds before. And they have all pretty much a retake utility now.
So they'll molly, Paranoia, and allow the Blade Storm to come out. That gets instantly denied by Sadak with the null command on the top of heaven. So really, EG, all they could do right now is try to gain the space and try to get a plant. Superman with the hero rifle at the dice with this Vandal. Plant attempted. There's that flush of utility. Aftershock even baited out. EG looking for a second attempt, but flashes after flashes from
Spike's
Loud,
not down.
Superman is there once again at the dice. Derek also gets a trade-off onto Superman, but here comes the lurk, the flank from QCK. The 1v1 towards the back, and Jogimo is ready for it. Now we have a 3 versus 1. Tui's alone, spotting that nature up towards that dice. Only the Blade Storm left alive, dropped! And it's a Sheriff from Derek, a 1v1 against Tui's here. Recon Dart. Tui's is going to make noise, so Derek's going to repivot now towards the back of the generator. Swings out and gets tagged a bit by the Vandal. The drop out from Tui's after. And Derek comes in with the headshot. Deflected from EG.
How crispy has this guy been since joining EG? Said, you know, I really didn't think I'd be playing for a team, and then I was playing some games at 6 a.m. and I got a message, so I had a cup of coffee and tried out. Well, it worked. It worked. Potter very happy she made that message that DM'd to Derek to get him on EG. Right there, we see one of the results. Feeling it.
There's that happiness.
Yep, there's that happiness. 11-6-2.
A little bit less there.
Night and day. You see the back and forth, the give and take right now. And right now, EG is taking 4 ultimates ready for them as they start this round. As again, pressure from Loud. They're trying to get a hold of the extremities to slow Evil Geniuses down and get a few more rounds back in their favor here on defense. Bless's ultimate could control B main, but don't know if they want to use it just yet because EG has been so confident at just taking another site when they have the chance. Drone up mid.
Yeah, G continues to work this middle.
Yeah.
A couple of them got hit by a Paranoid coming out from the A main side. Now that's Superman moving forward, and they're looking for a trap play into tree, but Superman's gonna get caught as he swings out. Caster Bless, baby, but gets traded out by Tui's. There's that execution back towards the tree. The Hunter's Fury to try to flash out towards the A main, but Sadak was waiting towards the back of the spawn. Yeah. Advantage still for Loud.
What a push here from Tui's. This could really be a big portion of the round if he's not detected. And now they have to look A main, so it's kind of fizzled out here of his push, but still could have a huge pincer movement once they get themselves into position. Let's see how big Apoth can sell what he's doing over at B.
Yeah, this is definitely where it gets difficult for EG. Left. Now they have to make the move, and as they move slowly here, time is against them, and we're playing so passively for Loud. Off angles.
Oh my gosh.
Out towards the spawn. A TP out towards B. This fake was sold.
They're gonna go back to A.
10 seconds left.
Oh my gosh, they get away, but that means that's another for site. Apoth is gonna be able to get less, Vance.
Wait, but now he's pinned towards the B side while everybody else from Loud has pivoted towards the A side. Beautiful hat here. That's gonna help the 2 players remaining in the A side for EG. Nature and Derek have doing the work together. Apoth closing the gap, running for support. There's the aftershock coming out, and it's only Nature alone now as Derek is hiding for cover under the smoke towards Hell. The flank out from Apoth, but it's a 1-for-1. Derek in another opportunity to clutch, this time on a 2 versus 1. The tap on that spike first, looks for that spray. Now as the smoke dissipates, the defuse will come out.
Oof. What a round. Really cool back and forth from EG, but awesome use of utility by Loud to completely nullify if anybody could be under in Hell. They use the fragmentation grenade and a little bit extra damage with that aftershock, and they make sure nobody can be hiding underneath. Great use of utility to retake.
Yeah, hopefully we're gonna see it right here, but that Derek 2v1 clutch where he actually couldn't get that wallbang spray into the diffuser, that's the respect also that EG is giving to Loud, knowing that planning in those positions, the aftershock could flush them out, mollies could flush them out, and as they're inching towards the site, they wanted to be ready for that with the clock against them, so It's for them, it was to play it safe for EG. And playing it safe this time around as well. Apop trying to walk over through this smoke, gets tapped down to 11 HP.
Push back, Loud playing very retake heavy here. It's just gonna be one inside Jog!
The helicopter Bucky moves forward with Superman on the second kill after Tui's. A lower buy from EG, looking to get converted as Apop is pushing forward. That 11 HP works wonders now for EG. Rolling Thunder out, Derek with the off angle. Les is alone, but Les manages to still get that kill onto Derek. 1 HP remaining. Jogimo still low on the bind, still with this Bucky. He's playing it close on that spike. First contact will potentially be Superman here. Unless Jogimo wants to swing out. There is that peek, and Jogimo swings out for the kill. EG are now at match point.
Absolutely blistering speed from EG on that last round. Like, Loud was trying to back up. We saw QCK take a reposition, and then Jogimo was on him. Literally on generator with him at the same time. Loud's gonna go ahead and call a timeout again here, as backs are against the wall for a final point. And yeah, just how quick they're behind enemy lines is throwing Loud for a loop, and that is not something we're used to seeing. You do not get behind Loud enemy lines very easily here, and EG really, really solid with how they're running strategies, and Loud cannot seem to catch up at this point. 5 rounds to get themselves to an OT here. Maybe if they invest in the OT spray, possibility becomes greater. 1%, remember, for 100% for $1.
That's a steal.
It is. It really is. It's crazy valuation, though. They were wrong.
But this is their last time out for sure here for Loud. Yeah. On this map, 5 chances for EG to close this off here. And you definitely saw off, these lower buys that EG keep converting this game against Loud. Puts them in a very difficult position. Once we move back in the game, you'll see there's not much money left on the board here for Loud to work with. So this is going to be the most crucial timeout for Loud to try to close this, because remember, this is the last timeout. So not only you have to fight for OT, you're going to have to try to win OT.
Yeah.
With none of these timeout chances left. Maybe working behind here, this Phoenix ult on the defense, maybe some sort of trap play. Tui's is there to set up on the A side too. Looks like we're pivoting differently now. It's like them working towards a tree.
Yeah, it's like Loud hasn't even been able to use Les's ult, really. They're just wondering what round it would be good and how would it affect EG, because it doesn't really seem like it will, right? EG just goes to the other site again so fast, so orchestrated. It would be tough to use it if you're not already making the retake happen. So let's see here. What can Nature call for the last round on Ascent against this Loud composition? They're still staying with the spike down to just get as much util out, drain this initiator retake. They're realizing that Loud's getting back in by having that freedom of utility that they can dump into the site just as if they were hitting from the attack side. So EG saying, give us all you got, and then we'll re-hit in a second.
Yeah, and the protocols of EG are there despite them at map point, knowing that the economy's low here for Loud. They're still using their due diligence and utility to even bring up the ult points as Derek grabs that orb. Apop now moving forward, the Outlaw connecting onto Les. The lurk play coming out from EG once again capitalized. Underhand flash as Apop is trying to tap on that spike. Sees now that the judge is towards the B site. That might be the opener now for EG to execute an A. Paranoia and a knife. They realize now that the site's open.
30 seconds left.
Going for that clean plant now for A main.
Yeah. Fully in sight, so still retake here gonna happen from Loud. 0 point gives them an idea, but a lot of this lower hell utility is already being used.
Run it back now. Derek with the lineup. Cancels the run it back, even gets a kill on top of that. Swinging back and forth, spawns 2 players, the last 2 of Loud, up towards the tree. Smoke being thrown, Jogimo and Nature with the last 2 kills. EG upsetting Loud on Ascent.
What a match from Evil Geniuses. Incredible stuff that they're able to bring to the table here, and having to fix quite a few things in the protocol area, they did from last week. If we remember, during the cast of Sentinels versus Loud, a message came up in that chat box from one of the players that said, what was it? Oh my God, this util is insane. We can't do anything in sight, right? EG prevented Loud from finding that util again. They were not able to run this composition like it was ran before. And that is a big thing, and I guess that's what you expect from Evil Geniuses and Potter when they come in to counter a team.
Oh yeah, and EG did a great job as well to just help and hold back here and fade out the utility tool on the attack. So doing a great job, EG, once again, winning the first map on Ascent. Icebox is coming up next, and that's EG's map pick.
Rachel, you okay?
No. I live with a broken phone. I can't trade in.
Okay, that's dramatic. Better plans Verizon. Everyone can trade in their old phone and get the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus with AI on them.
A new phone?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Wait, I'm on Verizon. Can I still get it?
Yeah.
I gotta trade this in, right?
New and existing customers can trade in any Samsung phone for a new Galaxy S24 Plus, watch, and tablet, all on us. That's up to $1,800 in value, only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Savage, the American Dream Tour with special guest JID.
that going to be enough? They know where Ned is. He's dropped him. Another clip. Superman!
Acaba caindo cedo, mas o Cauã avançou em elevador. Cauãzinho!
Smick standing here with Coach Potter after an exhilarating first win on map number 1 on Ascent. Potter, I think a lot of people were so excited to see this matchup against Loud, specifically because both of you guys have just shown such amazing innovation with your compositions. And headed into this first map, it was clear you had a game plan, bringing out that Cypher. How satisfied were you with how things panned out? And are you at all worried that perhaps Loud has something up their sleeve for your interesting comp on Icebox?
Yeah, for sure, they definitely have something prepared. The Ascent change happened earlier this week, actually, but Vince is he's such a stud. He absolutely takes on any challenge coming to him. And this week I told him, hey, Cypher's going to be in the game plan. So we changed a lot of things, but we put in so much work this week to try to specifically counter Loud's comp. We don't think it's that great. There's a lot of scary things about it for sure, but once we went over exactly what our win cons were going to be, it felt really easy this first map.
It's amazing to see all of that work come together in just 1 week. Congratulations again. Best of luck in map number 2.
Despite Potter doing the dab, we'll forgive that transgression. But that being said, hey, EG wins, so it ain't all that bad. They walk away with a big win on Ascent. Welcome back, Golden Boy here alongside with Mimi and Vanity as we break everything down. And, just jumping into it, Vanity, you made the call. You said you wanted to see the Cypher get implemented into the composition. Not only was it implemented, I think they executed it basically as well as you possibly could.
I mean, I think it felt like Loud had no chance, honestly, in that game. Like, they looked pretty convincing in their wins against Sentinels, and who else did they play on Ascent? Was it? They played 2 matches. I don't remember the other one.
Yeah, I'm drawing
Memory, that's a tough one. Leviathan!
Yeah, and they definitely looked a lot worse. I think the Cypher played a factor in it. I don't think it was the only thing that changed. I think giving footage for this comp to other teams is going to be something that EG did a great job using. They definitely used the resources they had available, and then the Cypher just is like the icing on top.
Yeah, I mean, this comp has very clear ideas. If it has no dive, it has to be splitting into these sites. So mid-control with that Viper Wall is really important. And I was impressed with how EG kind of denied that Viper Wall. Because normally you can put it up, put it down whenever you want. It gives you really easy ways to fight into mid. But they were always buying double Odin Operator, which meant they could be doing that spam towards Catwalk, doing that spam towards B main, and always funneling their opponents into either the Operator of Jojimo or the trips from Apoth here, which are basically unbreakable because you have no dive to get over and you have no Silver Shocks to get rid of them. It was a beautiful counter to this comp from EG. And on top of that, like we see with Apoth, the players were popping off individually as well.
Popping off. Popping off.
No.
You're not going to give that to me? I get one a week, at the very
It's the weekend.
It's the weekend, so never mind. It doesn't count. All right, well, my terrible jokes aside, Smix is actually standing by with another coach for our coach interview. Let's see what we got.
That was pretty sick. I like that.
I learned quite a bit in that
Speedy.
whole instance. It was fast, straight to the point, and we're back.
That's what Loud's going to do on Icebox.
Ooh.
Always keep them guessing.
I like that one. Okay, well, let's see what we should be expecting on Icebox. Thankfully, we got a person who really enjoys tapping screens. It's Ender here to break it all down. What you got, buddy?
iPad baby.
Well, let me tell you, I love tapping. And my main question is, how do EG play a fluid, aggressive defense with a million Sentinels and no duelist? And they showed it to us versus EG. Now, let's start off with B main control, because it all comes down to Jogamo on this deadlock. Most rounds, he is dropping very early sensors in B main and then rotating off of that space, usually to drop his wall delayed into mid, but sometimes, like this round, dropping it over on the A site. This round, those sensors are very far forward, and we're deep in the round. It's 30 seconds. G2 thought they were doing something, rotating back into B off this, because they saw deadlock over on A. EG showed them that, and they run into these sensors. Now just 20 seconds on the clock. Players are rotating over. It's not going to be easy. But just 2 rounds later, G2 know the way they counter this is they need to deal with those sensors early on in a round, right? So they get in here with the Jet, and they're like, oh, the sensors aren't here. Oh, I bet the deadlock is over on the A site. No, it's deeper sensors. We've got a player ready to swing off of that. It is beautiful, and G2 falls straight into the trap. Now, one more thing, if we sneak back there, that they're keeping fresh is the Killjoy setup. So here in mid, pretty common these days to see this turret that peers into the window inside tube and the alarm bot underneath for full mid control there. Hold on there, got ahead of myself. But in this next round, and in a lot of rounds, they're actually putting this alarm bot down in mid out of the window and have the turret inside tube as well. So a little bit more forward control. And this is at the same time that they are upping with the deadlock. Deadlock is doing some interesting things here with the utility as well, right? We've got both the wall here as well as the alarm to give some pseudo safety to the deadlock, kind of like a Jet. You know, Jet would take that shot and dash away. Deadlock's hoping to take that shot and then hope that between the wall and the sensor, no one can dive on him. Unfortunately, Jet sort of disrespects him here, and he's only able to get the one before he's traded and pulled over, but he still gets it. That won't stop EG, though, because they've still got very aggressive looks in future rounds. Here, dropping so much utility to support the Viper with that pit, and then this round as well, a Jet. They're walking up into A main onto Belt with an op, and they're also walking onto Belt with an early knife, as well as a KO left-click flash to get Apoth way up there. They're pushing through on the flank. That makes the G2 want to go into B site quickly, but they're going into a B site where the double flash pros are ready to pinch them, where there's still deadlock utility there for them to run into, and EG just played so in their face. EG love to get aggressive, and honestly, G2, that might be the surprise that they have to overcome.
I think that's an excellent breakdown because it really illustrates just the unique ideas that EG are bringing to the table. And also, I think it just illustrates that this EG team is more than fine just taking risks and trying new things out.
They absolutely are. And we saw EG, they were up to the task with their counter strat on that one. Let's see what Loud has. They're going back to last year with Harbor Viper. This is the comp that they were always playing. They're the innovators of it. But it's going to have to beat EG when they are one map away from going to Madrid. That is crazy to say, because this is a team, world champs last year, completely dismantled. Only one player and a coach left, and now a map away from another international event. It's unbelievable.
Loud aren't going to let it happen, though. Loud, they are the GOATs, and they've got EG's playbook in their notes. They're ready to dive into this one, and it's going to be done by early on in rounds, dealing with a lot of this Sentinel utility, and also watching out for some of the double flash traps that are going to be thrown against them.
I think something to touch on is this is QCK's first Jet map. I think he's going to have to step up. I think he had a really poor performance on Ascent, and what a perfect map to do on Icebox Jet. It's a great day.
I honestly didn't even think about that because that's going to be a tall order for him to have to overcome here.
It's been a while since he's played that role, so very much pressure is on Loud here. The last year champions of the Americas League up against a new look EG, and only one map separating them from elimination.
Doesn't get any better than this, people. Let's find out if this is going to make it to a third map, and we're going to send it right back over to Vancilian Riv for the call.
Thank you, GB. What a way to preface this second map. Yes, we are one map away for EG to qualify for Madrid. The champions against the one that won America's last year of Loud.
This is 6.
At the same time now, you're looking at QCK. They just mentioned it for Vanny at the desk. The first time that he's playing Jet, and you're going to have to pull it in on a map where you saw a lot of variety, new strats coming out from EG, and you've been shaking on Jet in the past. This is going to be a very difficult task here for QCK.
I think we're going through here. We're being initiated into Icebox, getting scanned, making our way through. Just another part of the map. All right, QCK on Jet. This is going to be wild. Because we've seen from this composition that QCK wasn't that replacement for Osbos. It's gotten a lot of freedom to the team with the way Sadok's been able to work that with a new duelist now, and it's just flowed. Let's see how it happens here.
Already have a high tide coming up the dash across here from QCK. And
locked up.
As you actually heard from Ender, we didn't really see any deadlock setups towards his B side. It starts off instantly towards A. So it slowed down the pace for Loud. As they're setting up for a plant up towards the A tower. A double flank coming out from EG, slowly being watched by Les. But here comes the first contacts. All three instantly won by Loud from both extremities. Flankers drop down, rotators drop down. And it's up to Giacomo and Nature on a 5 versus 2. Isolated on different parts of the A site. A triple swing towards the spawn. And it'll make it difficult here for Giacomo to come back and try to clutch a 1v3 here at this point.
I love the swarm from Loud here. We'll watch Giacomo try to clutch this one up against 3 as he gets just smattered with a bunch of utility. But this was a really cool chaos round from Loud. Sadok goes across the rope up top. What is Sadok known for on round 1? Sadok loves to get alt orbs. Well, he's going to get his anyways. He is the crosshair breaker that goes across rope. Everybody's flying in, but the wall from Harbor actually covers the majority of everything they're doing. So that rope travel isn't as dangerous. The rest of the team's flooding the bottom of the site, and EG was just overwhelmed there. The deadlock utility really didn't stop too much. And Loud get an idea of how it's used on A. As you were saying, we didn't see it on B there. Could be on A once again. Moving through a little bit of a low buy here, but EG will be ready to meet Loud. I like the Harbor pickup as well versus Deadlock here, Vansili. I feel like if you get caught in something like one of those nets, you can just cove somebody or cove yourself, a little bit of protection.
Try play, flash in the air.
Spike down.
Triple swing. One denied.
Here.
Not yet. Almost.
QCK's moving up there and just forming up these orbs. So yeah, it was an attempt to kind of work behind that wall, but seems like Loud were ready for that. They played very far back and just denied EG.
Walls on walls here for Loud. And it's interesting because Tui's is using his as the main take wall, right? Les continues to put his wall on B. You're remaining for constant pressure there no matter what the round is. And you're good to go with Harbor. And look, they can even just really work past this Viper wall. It causes them hardly any issue. And by the time that Viper wall's been up the last few rounds, we're seeing that they're already inside the site. So really, they're just getting back for post-plant positions. Round 3. And Jogamo does it again. Not even has to be an operator this time.
And that's the thing, the moving up with the Harbor walls.
Over there.
A great way to scale up towards the map, and great that utility from Jogamo, but again, it's EG playing that fourth position and catching one off guard off the rip. For the rest now, Loud, they've lost a player in the process. Tui's is down to 5 HP.
Over there.
The wall comes out now for Jogamo, making it a lot more difficult here for Loud to try to get that plant in the B site. Been moving forward, off angle, but read by QCK. Jogamo still there for the trade. Net to slow some players down, swings out, gets caught, but at least gets one for his troubles. Now it's up to the two controllers of Les and Tui's. Going into the Swarm now, confirming the plant.
Oh, that's spooky. Wow, playing that time so well there.
Yeah, but EG's already here. High-low looking to squeeze out towards his B site, but isolating on 1v1s. Finally, a trade comes out. Oh, Tui's at this 5 HP somehow stays alive and is in a clutch situation. Apov just dancing around, trying to spot him, trying to bait out the swing with a tap on that spike. Tui's is counting the seconds, swings out, gets the kill! Huge. Comes out with the Red Bull clutch, and that should have been an EG round because it looks so clean, but those hero plays, they do have it with that roster under Loud.
And Loud feels comfortable against this. Really interesting take to get up to the Deadlock utility. They just deathball it. They find what could be their problem, and they all take care of it together. Pushing forward, cute little wide swing by QCK to pick one up before he's traded by Jog for a 3K there on the full round. But yeah, really nice control here by Loud. Patient walk up B. They take site, plant. Fundamentals all around here. We're seeing how this Harbor comp gets to work too, giving themselves a much safer plant on the site, which becomes very helpful. All right, back towards B. They tempt, but they're losing a lot of ground on A here. Apoth has already gained entirety of A. And they're going to be able to rotate across the site now. EG's ready for this site hit. I feel like Loud is going to do one of their waits. They've gone to A twice. Then Loud hits B, right? And now it looks like they might even fake it more. And they're ready for Apoth as they rotate back to A.
That's the beauty as well of this double controller. It has so much utility rather to cross back towards the mid rounding, forcing EG on these rotates. I mean, you know, on this lower buy that you have on the defensive side, they're gonna have to work the map a little bit more aggressively and quickly as Apoth gets caught. Allows Loud to get some sort of position towards the east side, but Jogamo almost connected onto one on the top of 410. But as for the rest, it's looking pretty good for Loud so far, unless Jogamo become nuclear here. Denied. Derek with the second one. Does not connect onto Derek. Does not connect onto QCK, rather. Now Superman's the last player standing. I mean, you saw on a rotate from EG, they still, even though Apoth pushed forward on that A main side, they didn't really know if there was actually still players from Loud moving towards middle.
Yeah.
So they have to be aware of those as well. Try to work that against Loud's mid-rounding.
They're trying to get ahead of Loud right now. I think with the pace Loud is playing, you have to consider you're forcing your opponent's hand, right? Especially when Apoth gets a free push like that and they're all the way towards B. So they have to wait for that execution. They have to see a little commitment, I think, from Loud there to really get that rotation in order. All right. Jogmo's ultimate online operator as well for this deadlock, and they're going to try to get positioning to use this. Beautiful. Drone destroyed.
Up on the defense on a deadlock. Punished right away by QCK as Derek's on the top of pipes being hit by the Yelp out from Tui's. Slowing things down by throwing a mosh pit towards the right side of 410. Breaking the dart, allowing Nature to reposition up towards the generator. Looking for more information as the wingman comes out. Nice little combination though. Looks like they heard Nature pivot back towards the generator. A 2v2 ensues, make that a 2v1. Tui's again alone and stopped by Apoth on the top of the A tower.
Apoth has these moments, usually quiet, just lurking, but when he is called upon, Apoth can lay them down. That's right there, 1-4 as the BG picks up the first round. And nice little control they got over towards A. Even with Loud's util protocols, they're dropping EG members left and right. They're still able to pick up the round on this one. Derek being right up in the face of QCK there. Yeah. Little tricks like that did not stop Apoth from holding. And 3 kills from the same position like this too is actually kind of crazy. Continuing to reposition and just nail those shots. Nature is pumped up.
Exactly, you probably have to give it to him too. Despite him getting caught by a shock molly combo, he threw a flash in the air, allowing him to get the pick. Jogmo once again pushing forward with the operator, catching Sadak. Instantly puts up a wall, and that's gonna force the clock down here against Loud.
Stay down. So it looks like they're trying to tackle more parts of the map than one now. And I thought this is what might happen. Do they take out the wall? Do they put a bunch of people on it and then make EG have to worry a little bit more? It's just the wall is like an alarm bot with a crap load of health. You have to take it down to make EG worry.
Oh, the gun's sticking out. Nature's gonna fall. Silence. And that's the thing too. They're working the map as you're mentioning for Loud, and they really caught EG off guard here.
Welcome to my world. Spike planted.
All coming out here, does get contact, allowing players to flush out. The updraft, the right click there onto QCK. Back onto the ground, trying to get more right clicks, but gets denied there by Les, and that's Superman alone now. Playing towards the back of the pit. Les stays in it now to keep it up, and this might be it here for EG, at least for this round. That op is way too far for Superman to try to move up and pick it up and save it for the next round. So the best he could do here is save this Vandal, look for exits at the same time. But Loud definitely is looking to convert their 5th round.
Man, how nice would it be to actually have a Sova somewhere for EG in this composition? All these walls and coves and things that Tui's is putting up is just allowing Loud to run amok in the site. They're able to trade each other. They're getting the angles they want as they run in. And you get to drone the site as well to start it off. So you know you have the enemy already on the move when you start to execute. Quick escape there, but Jogmo still picks up the frag as they clean up the Viper's pit. And yeah, Loud, much more control this game. They're forcing EG's hand on these retakes, how fast EG have to rotate, and the deadlock is not giving EG as much ground on the map as it did before. It's not stumping their opponent. So what can they do now? Where else do we see deadlock being used? Because it seems like Loud has a bit of answer for it. We've seen Jogmo go A and B, right? It's kind of a no-brainer to throw the wall down when it can completely block everything. And you are going to get some slowdown at least out of that round, preventing a Loud rush. But Loud has been hitting A on the rush. How can they prevent that is the question.
Well, EG slowly recognizing here now that working those extremities is definitely the play here for Loud. And this 4 position that you mentioned a couple of rounds ago from Apoth, it was just a nice shot from Loud as they rotated it over. So it's really trying to make sure that once you gain more position, do you want to move a little bit more up or just try to hold that angle to get that information, being able to fall back and do that push and pull? Because so far, it's really Loud governing the tempo of this first half.
For sure.
Despite them losing the first body, trying to peek towards the B main, everything else that happens towards the mid or the A site has been Loud all along.
Yeah. Where do they go? Not too much mid pressure so far from them. Probably just see this orb from Les once again go through. They have the alarm bot back, so extremity watch from Loud. Double push here, or probably triple push coming in from A.
They have a hero vandal to work with as well. They just want to gain that map control by the tower.
And they have Thrash too. They can in and out. They can get a little map control by thrashing, pulling it back, getting a reset. If they really want to start to understand what Loud's trying to do here and make that commitment. So here's the wall down. EG now has to worry about that rush coming through, and they're not going to have to worry about much.
Orb now being picked up. Now the walls of Cascades allowing Kawadzine to just get around the corner. Jumping in the smoke. Will he catch one? The net did catch a few, but Superman couldn't get that kill. And that's the defenders. The attempt that they're trying to do with the snakebite net. And that allowed for EG to get these kills against Loud. Loud continues to push forward towards the spawn and looking pretty flawless so far. At high tide, so difficult to deal against. And there's that Cove too. Forcing yourself to stick out here, and that's the Dizzy being thrown out. Trying to make some sort of play with his Vandal that was purchased at the beginning of the round for Derek. Hive gets the information, contains everybody towards the B main. Wow. But from beginning to the end, it was Loud working that B site.
We haven't seen it in a long time. Teams pushing forward, playing Snowman, trying to get through the site, but having the double wall and having the Harbor being able to block off the right side and the entry from spawn means that Loud can get even deeper. Loud can prevent EG from setting up that retake even longer. Then they finally back into the site, still have the Viper wall to fall back on, and they're just causing so much trouble deeper and deeper before EG can get there overall in the strats. Really working out for Loud. Operator here from Jog. See what he can do.
Definitely changing the pace. They're working towards middle this time around. 3 players focused there. It's already being pinged out by Loud. I think they heard the op shot, so they know the op is back in the hands of Jogimo. Positions back in the window of Kitchen. At least Superman solo alone on this B side, still being pinged out here.
Wall still there. One cascade over towards A. That's why you kind of see Apoth ready for anything around the corner, but Loud is at B. That was a fast run over from Tui's after they just gave a bit of util on the right side. Expect all the walls to be coming up here. If we get Tui's wall across that side, yep, they're going to be going for it.
Snakebite on the ground. Jogmo still connects the shot, though. Out from the orange hallway and a second one. So all this through the walls, through the high tides, connects with 2. Kawadzine gets forward position in the B side, traded out by Superman. Thrash coming out as Derek is trying to find that information. They can't find anything because the last 2 players are Loud. Held back towards green. Now another tap on the spike, locked down, keeping them at bay. Even allowing potentially Loud to focus back on the A sign and having less on the lurk until the double swing comes out from EG towards B.
And they run it. Just trying to create a different angle here to break a crosshair. Has to be slow too.
It's got money.
Yep. Shouldn't be
at
too
least
bad.
to go for the plant.
10 seconds
Forcing
left.
the EG players out. If you could actually kill a few players in the process, and they'll get done.
Lots of bank for Loud to still buy, but EG needing these rounds here. If you tie it up 6-6, they would be very, very happy. They still have that operator to go back into the hands of Jogamo, holding down yellow over towards B. So a good answer from Evil Geniuses too. It really seemed like Loud had a stranglehold on the game, and what EG was trying to do with this deadlock defense just was not working. Jog on your screen right there. You know what's funny is Jog, when he plays at Deadlock and he gets interviewed, he's like, it's to set up my team. It's to set up everybody, just to make them better. And these guys out here just fragging with an operator.
Through walls.
Through walls every time he can get the chance. Spending the big money. Here's the Cascade we saw last round, but now they play off the Reckoning as well. High-low from the side of Loud as they jump into the site and they push out EG.
Yeah, A-Plus get delayed for a bit. We saw the Nanoswarms coming out too. Lockdown available on the attack for the pulse fight from Sadak. So EG does not want to give him a chance to do it. Now the Molly in the net. Did a lot of damage there onto Tui's. Apoc dropping less in the process, leaving Sadak and Tui's alone. At least they got the spike plant down, but that's it. Looks like one was cocooned there as Sadak gets picked off, and EG are slowly coming back in the first map.
Really great job to meet Loud on that fight. It seemed like Loud continued to push through. That was a rinse and repeat round for Loud. Once they get that plant, it was post-plant. But as they were planning, EG decided to step in instead of wait, and that was the timing difference there that caught Loud off guard. Also, Jogamo nailing these ults. Like, I don't know the percentage he has on them because I don't know, in ranked, Deadlocks aren't hitting ults like that. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Apoth 2 also having a fantastic series so far here as those two are on top of the board.
A fantastic event on top of that.
Yeah,
even
seriously.
Nature mentioning in interviews before they even start the season kickoff for Evil Geniuses that this is the first time for players like Apoth and Superman to actually step on the stage of the Americas. And I mean, they passed with flying colors in their match against G2, and now you're playing against a very tough opponent in Loud. Again, the winners of Americas last year, and you're able to fight toe-to-toe against them as well. It's definitely allowing that confidence to come up here for players like Apoth as you saw those shots come through.
And it's very cool to see that, you know, Apoth, Nature, and Superman, as you were mentioning them, have just been brought on to the VCT stage. You know, seasoned players across challengers, across other leagues in the tier 2 scene, but to be able to step onto the stage like this and slot right in as well. EG still looks as powerful as ever here and could bring this one back to a tie with the momentum they have. Loud, see what they decide to change. Has been a few A hits here. Seems like the A hit is figured out with Loud throwing the big screen wall from Harbor, playing off a little bit of the potential that Les could be lurking somewhere, but they've realized Les isn't lurking. They're not having to worry too much of if Loud was going to play extremities after an initial hit. I think Loud could do a little bit with that fake. Oh my word.
Both of them got lucky there. But Apoth moved forward. Oh, again, catching Les off guard, but still losing the head-to-head when Les actually has his sights on his head. But Loud looking to pivot back towards the B site, even the spike making its way towards that area. And lockdown will potentially be used, and indeed it does. Superman pretty much in a one-and-done position. Nothing to really allow for him to fall back. He'll swing, but Loud is ready for it. And as I say that, comes out with the kill. And he'll finally get detained and stopped.
Right there.
He tried. Default mosh. Oh, the timing just off there for Jogamo as they start heading towards the site. This lurk is going to be so big from Les in the end, and he's low. As long as he doesn't make noise.
Is lurking around the corner and does get the kill onto Nature.
Never mind.
The high tide, through the high tide, Derek falls down, and yeah, you mentioned the flank was going to be super important, but at the same time, even if a sonic sensor was being thrown to watch that fight from Jogamo, most players are walking through that one. I don't think you get caught there at that point, so Loud were definitely in a great position on that post plan.
Expecting a push from Evil Geniuses too, for Les to be away from the team that long. We were just saying they're not kind of leaving a pressure player on the side of the map, and while Les didn't act as a pressure player, he can do that again and still look for the lurk. Loud did not get that strategy they just used figured out at all. Happy on the retake, happy on B hits so far. A has been where the post plant now falls towards EG. This ultimate towards B as well is kind of get an idea that Jogamo can come back over on Deadlock.
Right on top of screens, gets information, a flash in the air. Apoth and Nature capitalizing on 2 kills. Null command available as well if they get pressured too much. But they're holding on that pressure with their weapons, and that's good enough. Tui's instantly the last player remaining. Wins that duel against Apoth. Now just has to work the map. And there's still a decent amount of money here for Loud and a lot of time to work with for Tui's to potentially punish anybody that might be pushing too aggressively for EG. But the discipline, the protocol is there on the defensive side, so Tui's now has to activate and try to rework the map alone. Moving towards this A site. Trying to bait out some players by making a lot of noise.
Carrying spike. Wave crashing.
This is going to be good enough here.
Oh my.
Net keeps him away.
Oh dear.
Wingman being thrown out and Jogamo from the top rope.
Jeez. A little bit of hype creator there for him and the team. That's got to feel good. Great round there from Evil Geniuses. They have, been on pipes and in the face of Loud every time they go A to fight. as soon as they can. Nature from the bottom, Apoth from the top, and you would think that Loud has that area of maze of pipes on lockdown. You have a Sova, you're going to drone, you have a sonar bolt you can throw up there, but EG is still working ahead of the game, much like they did on Ascent, to prevent Loud's utility from even mattering. That's how fast EG's pushing up for these fights. This time EG sets back. We got a few ults around the board here as the Reckoning is going to be thrown towards A as a ruse. The move is towards B, but there's already a push here from Superman.
He heard the footsteps, but was looking towards the air. Almost got caught.
Oh my gosh.
But couldn't capitalize on the kill, and the surprise that he had against Kawadzine. And at the same time, Sadat gets that pick. The null command that was being used towards the A side, that was baited out for that.
Oh dear.
Sadat looking for that timing. Derek was baiting out the same thing. But Sadat just running that clock down. I mean, not allowing Nature to come back up. That's going to be annoying to deal against. Meanwhile, this is a battle that happened the whole time because look at Loud. The rest of them are just hanging out towards the B site.
Yep.
Just do your thing, Sadat.
Yeah, literally holding a team hostage right there towards A. Sadak just masterminding for a little bit, and now it's going to be the site take. Everybody's safe with the control that they have. And again, as a team here, you don't have to worry that much about the deadlock utility if you're working the map well. Okay, Apoth.
Yeah, even the upshot missed, but Apoth is there to fight. 36 seconds left on the clock as the lockdown comes down, and all of Loud instantly running across towards the A side this time. No defensive utility to delay. So EG has to try to get a timing, and as Apoth comes through,
here we go.
The orb that was actually a cove that was allowing, I mean, the double orb to allow Loud to cross over towards the A site. Hunter's Fury should be an easy kill right now for Apoth. He does get a ping at least onto one player. There is that first kill. Tui's meanwhile training it back onto Jockiball on the other side. Derek with the wall bang. A second one onto Tui's. A 2 versus 1. Let's re-pivoting now towards the left side, holding down towards the screen. They have no information for EG. So you see them just moving around, making a lot of noise, covering every single angle. And Les is in a good spot for a 1v1. And as he swings out, there's that first one in the back of dice. Apoth on the top of the pipes, misses the shot.
Delay.
With that snake bite. Les now moving towards the top of the A tower. Apoth is guessing around towards the back in those footsteps. It's going to be heard all along by Les. A great spot here for Les to get the kill as Apoth repels up. A Red Bull clutch as Loud finishes the half with 8.
A big last round from Loud. That's one of the biggest fakes they tried to throw. I think a lot of what we get out of Loud is they're defaulting a lot. They want to feel the team out. And they're not quite giving us an idea of what the playbook looks like there. Loud's like, all right, Reckoning A, we're going to start just spreading the map out to make sure that if we get caught by the util on B, they're worried about if we're hitting A and can't work off of everything. So Loud putting a lot of stuff on the table there. EG could not finish their food. Loud come up big with an 8-4 first half.
Well, now at least let's toss it over to Smix, who's hanging out with our co-streamers right here in the Riot Games Arena. It's Grim and Shiro.
Thank you very much, as always, Van. Smix sitting here at the Riot Games Arena, sitting with Shiro as well as Grim. It is fantastic to have you guys here, and I can't help but notice that you are quite the artist.
Yeah, just a little Gojo drawing. I'm trying to curse NRG and Loud. Sorry, guys.
Okay. It seems like your curse worked on map number 1, but maybe something's missing for map number 2.
I really think EG's going to bring this back, half 2. I told Grim they'd be 2-0 EG and 2-0 Sentinels.
All right, we are hearing the predictions coming over from the side of Shiro. I heard you before this half wrapped. I heard you say 5-7. I'd like a 5-7, but it was a 4-8. What are your thoughts?
You know, I think Jojmo's cooking. He's like a little snowball effect here if he keeps going. I think he's really strong. I wish the stuns were used more, but yeah, I think they have a really good counterplay there. But they still got it. I think EG's got this.
And I think a lot of people, you know, at this point, when you think Icebox, you think Sage. We're not seeing Sage, and we know you love Sage. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Sage is in a really bad spot. I mean, I think when Deadlock's getting picked more than Sage, there's a clear issue. Yeah, man, maybe, you know, if you're just singing on Sunset, I don't know, maybe there's got to be a change or something. Please, something, bro. Jesus. I mean, maybe. Hey, we'll see. Riot, please.
Okay. Last question. We already know what the predictions are coming over from the side of Shiro. Final question for you. Who are you predicting is going to take this one? What's the final score going to be? And who is going to win with NRG Sentinels?
Okay, so I'd hope EG wins like 13-10, but I think it's gonna be Loud 13-8, and then next map EG's got it.
We'll see if that's indeed the case.
I say that's understandable.
We're gonna head back as the game is ready. So Vans and Riv, it's all yours.
We need the walls again, man. Bring the walls back. Or everybody's missing the crazy walls. Come on, Riot.
I still see my ranked games, then I hate it.
All right, we're back in 13. We already got a little bit of action as it's a push up towards A. And it looks like EG wants to tempt. Who might be pushing B main here? Now, tempt did not work. They're trying to push through that harbor wall. It's just giving so much coverage to the first two entryways into B, and QCK takes big advantage. Now, man down, EG have to find a way in. This is more just their sentinel work that they lost, so this should still be a good hit. They can get in with Derek's utility.
Yeah, for Loud, they're just playing around the turret that's behind Generator. They're just looking for this right timing contact play on top of that, waiting for the wall to come down.
Right there.
Should be a wingman plan, or at least breaking the turret first is the name of the game. Natostorm couldn't get broken up there towards the A tower, so that allows Sadat to get the kill with that frenzy. Plant now coming down for wingman. But already it's a 3-player disadvantage for EG.
Yeah.
Derek and Nature holding the back of the A site. Here's the flip retake out from Loud. That's what we know Loud for. Very, very good with the utility on the retakes. Wow. And it's pristine for Loud in his pistol.
The Loud probably saying they used everything. They have nothing to throw at us. Dump the util. Loud back into the site. The fans are happy to see that pistol round come through. And Loud, very close to bringing us to a next map with the momentum that they have created here. Marshall for QCK. They're going to keep the long shots on B going for him. Evil Geniuses looks like they might go for a shark attack. Full Stinger second round, but the spike down, it gives them just enough money to want to dip into the funds. A few with full armor here. Apoth and Jogamo feeling good there. What do? They're going to tempt the map first before they hit together, or are they just going to kind of two-deathball this?
Yeah. Well, something EG's good at is allowing Apoth to get lurks. And for them to get lurks, they have to be a little bit more aggressive. So I wonder if they're going to try to add that pressure towards that B site to start. Did see an attempt of a 2-2 split, but with that high tide coming up from Loud on that A side and not allowing the turret to get information on the A side for EG, you just have to reset.
Playing these low buys so seriously, and they haven't yet showed what weapons they have.
Still haven't. They finally do. The net actually catches the teammates. As if flank comes out, somehow Sadat cannot win these shots. The flank from behind of Kaotzine from the boiler, traded out by Superman. Plant comes down. No opportunity to drop the wingman. So it's a 2v4. A mistake from Sadat that could turn costly for Loud, as QCK is trying to win it back for the defensive side. A first pick out onto Nature. The lurk out from Apoth, as we know him for, wins that against Less. It's up to QCK with that outlaw, picks up a stinger. Is going head-to-head against Apoth around the corner, and Apoth is just a drive-by, walking across calmly with the headshot. And a thrifty, well, not really a thrifty, but the force buy actually converted for EG.
Right. I mean, Loud was even on their low buy, not expecting that, kind of bringing their own medicine. EG was too loud. Loud's the one that's always saying, fear us, expect anything. We're never going to play it normal. Yeah, we'll never does EG play it normal on their eco rounds, and they force by here on this second one. Apoth comes up huge, and Sadak there does easily over 150 damage, but between two members of EG, and it does not connect with a kill. Unfortunately, giving that space that EG needed. Fortunately for them, a push again. Loud is very, very active on this defensive side.
EG's ready for it, though. No util in hand, waiting with weapons. QCK's low on HP. Bucky's close. Now to swing out Jogimo. That gap has been closed. Kawatin gets that a headshot, but at least not an opportunity here for Loud to pick up that rifle left behind. Derek protecting it with his life. Upgrades it now, and all of Loud falls back, and they want to play the power of numbers.
Way far back. Loud totally regroups on this one. Just actually, Les is still hanging out by himself. But do you see what EG is thinking? Knowing Loud can still pull something out of their hat that drops every weapon EG's holding right now. So fully respecting this move up. A good delay by the wall coming in from Harbor. Tui's always in a spot to be able to get that down. That's one of the great things about it. Quickly rotating from side to side.
I like this.
The initiator util for sight from EG, and this will prompt Loud to start to make that rotation for exits and possibly the retake.
Yeah, and initially when they started scaling up towards this long B side, they used a knife close towards green. So I was like, how are they actually going to clear towards yellow? So it's a lineup with a Dizzy, just to make sure and confirm as they're scaling up inch by inch towards long B, allowing for EG to get a clean plan as soon as this wall comes down, though. There's 3 players from Loud greeting Derek as he falls. Advantage still comes out for Loud, and this is going to be the difficult task. Play against the amount of walls that Loud has on a retake. High Tide comes out. Nature swings through, still has a flash, but gets picked behind as he tries to look for some cover. Now the tap, the full stick. We have players that are a little bit too far, and this comes to be a defuse in the end because of that cove.
Loud. They get their own low-buy round. You gotta be kidding me. How is this going back and forth right now? We know that one because Loud's retakes overall just have been amazing. And EG there is trying to wait Loud out, play it patiently, see if they'll use more util. It took EG with the buy to so long to get up long. Then, unfortunately, when they use their util, it takes space that was kind of freely theirs. So that util is not there when Loud tries to get back in, other than maybe the Dizzy. And Loud is doing a great job preventing EG's attacks from finding a result here. Still, the plant went down, so we'll see EG with some money. And Loud goes back to a pretty default defense here, with just a rotation from QCK with the operator now. So holding the hard angles. See if EG really winds the time down now.
Double flash too, just to try to get control of green. You can see how difficult it is for EG to gain control of green to start the rounds because of this high tide from Tui's.
You want to be using a lot of this util, which is beneficial to a Gecko, because you can grab it, do some vertical dizzies, and do it again. But all the way through.
Monster on the loose.
Denying the yellow hide.
An alert though. Maybe did not expect the second one, but still spraying with the Bulldog. Capitalizes on the kill onto Apon. So the fundamentals for EG trying to go for the split towards the B side did not pay off, but they still have players alive here towards the B side. Joggimo with the first one onto Tui's. Hunter's Fury coming out here to try to retake the site. It's coming out from Kawadzine. Does get the ping onto Derek. Players are low. Snake bites being thrown on the ground, and delays after delays will be flashes from Nature. Thrash still up and ready to go. Holding back here towards yellow, trying to stay alive, dodging the shock darts. Knife coming out onto the site too. Now as everything gets stopped from the Thrash, the swing comes out from EG, but the fight's still won by Loud. Wingman coming out on the left side, but there you go. As they start swinging back out, there's too many players of Loud to deal against. Gets one for his troubles.
Oh my God. Like, you see Loud kind of standing out in the open there. They're so close. They're coming forward. This harbor utility just allows Loud to encroach a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and find the kill they want from an angle the wall's creating, and then a little bit more, a little further into the site. There's so much safety in approaching these retakes on B with the harbor. It just seems like EG is swarmed when they do see that harbor wall go down. We're gonna get an EG timeout now as they need to stop the bleeding. 11-5 right now for Loud as we're on Icebox.
That's the beauty of, you know, the coaching staff and also Sadak, of how much they're able to study off the tape that they have against EG, almost like what EG did to Loud on Ascent. This might be a situation where they're going to trade off their map picks here against each other, because as you're looking at how EG has been so good on the defensive side on their game against G2, they got actually punished on their defensive side here. And on the attack, they were good for these amount of flanks that came through, the splits, the late lurks, and all that's being watched here. Maybe sometimes the shots weren't the cleanest there from Sadak, but he's always ready in this position on the top of B7, back towards orange. They know that there's always going to be something happening here from EG. Yes, they have great protocols for EG to take control of yellow, but Loud is more than happy to give that up. So this timeout, they have to switch something around where maybe most of that pressure has to come in the B site more than the scaling towards the B yellow.
All right, lockdown ready here for Loud. Let's see what happens. We can get a good retake onto the site. An easy defuse there. Easier said than done. The Marshall, though, Jogmo is going to try to still get some long-range shots in. Setting up towards B long. All right. So we've seen EG with a pretty similar attack start in the beginning. 2-1-2. Whether or not they have 3 here at B to kind of attack Loud's push that they've seen a few rounds Yeah, operator for Marshall shot, and they'll know that op is now rotating around the map, so they have to be careful. Peeking on contact is dangerous now.
EG's just trying to keep the Loud players positioned towards the A side, but when the op already rotated towards A and drops APOF, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for Nature to sell this fake. So EG looks to work together. 2 players falling back now for a mid pivot to A. While the fake is this time towards the B site. They know that there's at least 2 players from Loud towards A right now from EG's point of view.
Yeah, Jagamo is saying, look at me. Making noise over here at B. I've destroyed your alarm bot. Now you have
Works
to care. Yeah, but they don't really care about what's going on at B. They're kind of reading this mid play right now and giving up sight. Loud going back into a bit more of a formation of a retake, but also thinking B may be the actual play. Jagamo super braining on this one, and the lurk up mid here from Superman could dissect the entirety of Loud's retake.
It comes down to that one. Superman trying to potentially get a pick into Boiler. It gets pinged out, so they know that Les was there. Sadak pivoting over to help under the tube. 20 seconds left on the clock.
There it is.
Superman with the pick, but there's no fake. There's not enough time left, so those 2 players on the A side is still there for Loud. At least we get a plant down for EG. QCK looking to punish one down by the dice, but all of EG are pulling all the way back towards jail. Potential setups here for a Dizzy double flash. There's the underhand, but the timing's better for Loud to surprise EG on their retake.
That wall.
And we're ready for that one, and we're looking to be in a very good spot to just defuse it. Even the Cove to secure. Oh, the defuse for now. At least it's halfway. At least it's halfway.
Oh my gosh, Loud just dictating the retakes with that Harbor Wall on top of the Viper Wall. It's like they can create little Thunderdomes to fight in, and if you're in it, you're probably not going to have a good time. They move on to the next one. Just how they encroach onto B site when they're retaking. 12-5 here, Loud. Very happy to go back to Ascent in the lineup, and it does not seem like they're as affected here by the deadlock as they did their own countering for their own work. 2Es popping off on the Harbor too. 3 members right now allowed up on the 18 frags, just about. Really big teamwork coming in here on a lot of 1v1s and just potential site takes that members of Loud are being able to stop. Forward play towards A. Trying for a shot. QCK getting a little hot there. Interesting walls. Stopping the mid push so they can just go towards focus to A. They leave that flank to Sadak, and they feel like EG is going to hit here now as EG is tempting the site at pipes.
And 2E's throwing this wall is still very similar to control towards the B and middle like they do towards the beginning of the round. But if EG tries to push very aggressively towards the A side, they still have the Reckoning to work with. And there's the first contact, but still won by EG. All coming out here. Actually caught one now. But Calazine's playing the off angle at the bottom of pipes, denied right away. There's only going to be 1 player left. As the wingman gets the plant. Doc Elise wins that one, but it's looking pretty grim for him to try to win the 1 versus 3, especially with the wall blocking his path to move back in the A site.
You ever just bounce into it and make music? Makes that little boing boing noise. Sometimes you gotta keep yourself on the up and up when you're playing, and that's how you do it. Bounce into the wall. Obviously nothing gonna happen here for Sadak. He is trying to get some exit frags on the way out. Never mind. Never mind. I'm thinking of the post plants here. There's some mollies making a hot foot. Yeah. So you can never count out Sadak, actually. You think of last time they played Split, he's just jumping off the balcony, getting a 3K to end the map. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Never doubt the Sadak. Even Mimi says.
And despite Sadak going for these hero plays to get these 2 kills, and the economy is still quite broken for Loud, it seems as though that type of play that he's trying to do as the IGL is for the long game, continue to keep that economy low here for EG, even if they won that last round. So that when it comes down to enough ults, enough money, EG potentially may have nothing left. I mean, look at their buy currently. 3 small shields, Op still in the hands of QCK.
Somebody's there.
CG, same protocol now towards the front of this B site. Actually activating a little bit more quickly. Knife came out towards yellow, got shot right away, so they had to be wary of potentially the op still being posted in this area. Even avoided, but QCK did not land that shot.
Needs to peek a little bit harder now. Util's definitely going to be pushing QCK off a little easier. EG and Jogmo know that, but they're not going to use Util as they get out, though. QCK still comes up with a big kill on Superman, so there's no wall here for the take. They have to clear space with Thrash. Don't think they're going to be able to get that back right away here, but they're trying.
Even though the Thrash did not get anybody, he went through the Owl drone and knows that Kalazine was on the top of that B sign, so that allows this push forward within B to get these picks. Post-plant situation, alert now activated. Spotted by Apoth, but the counter alert comes back from Sadak, and he's going to be all alone. After his teammate falls, Reckoning being pulled out, net being thrown for Jogimo as he gets the surprise kill. EG fight again.
That's one of the things you see Deadlock actually, I mean a Sentinel in general, but Deadlock being able to capture you is when the moment is really tight, when you're forced to run, you're forced to move. You don't really get a chance to have as much space with Deadlock on the map, and you see the effect of it right there. A good hold, clear idea of what they needed to do to take that round back from Loud. So Loud's down onto the low buy now. You said that might be in effect last round with some of the low armor, but EG push through. They persevere 2 rounds in a row now. And they go back to this same setup, this 2-1-2. Get a little bit of a Loud's initial utility out, be able to create a re-hit where they don't have as much to dump into the site. It's been about 45 seconds each time here for EG the past few rounds. We'll see if they wait that same amount to get their own signatures back up. Rotation already from Loud here. They've been very mobile on the map. Even if it's not to push, they're staying moving from site to site.
QCK being suppressed, cannot activate the dash yet, but he was still looking for that fight. 145 there on it to Derek. Instantly traded out by Nature. As the Allen gets information on one of those lurkers, that's Superman. There's that second one. So for AG, it's the same game plan. This is now being read by Loud.
Yeah.
But they pivot still on 2-2 in terms of their positioning.
It's a big kill by Loud. This is going to come up to Nature now, getting the flash out that's going to break some crosshairs. So you see Loud presenting themselves a little bit more, knowing Derek's utility isn't there. Lockdown comes in.
30 seconds left.
Loud will have to reconsider positioning here once we get the spike down.
Nice orb, allowing Kalazine to fall back. Give it an ult command now coming out on the attack. And trying to confirm this plant. The setup out for EG. Oh, the spray.
Oh, barrier didn't work.
Through 2 walls there, Jogimo falls, and now it's a safer plant just around the corner. Kalazine trying to look for a timing, but it's that pesky wall. Couldn't get through it. And EG, it gives them a chance to reset the clock, run it back in their favor. But for Loud this time around, they have their own 2 ults to work with on the retake, and they'll use it. Locked down now for Sadak. Superman trying to delay as much as he can, even pushing forward through his own Molly.
Player standing.
Loud slowly working this out. There's only Nature left. 5 HP remaining. The wall to high tide. He can't get it done. They'll defuse it for Loud. And they'll close the second map to bring this to sunset.
Having the Viper wall, but also having the wall to move around from a harbor here. Loud created the map they wanted to play on. That was awesome from Loud, coming in to bring us into a map 3. Now we go to a decider on Sunset after this, but to come off the Ascent, where EG was so strong, a night and day game then from Loud. It seems like they came in with the great counters for each other and weren't expecting it to be that strong from either side, right? It's wild how they traded each other's maps today.
It's been very difficult to play against there for EG on those amounts of walls that you talked about here, Riv. But
So
now
cool.
it shows how much, again, the work really came in for Loud. And now the next map is going to be Sunset, the map where it will decide the end of the journey for one of these teams. And that will happen after the break.
This interior is rough. Luckily, eBay Motors is here to save the day with this. These wonderful goodies that will...
that going to be enough? They know where Ned is. He's dropped him. Another clip. Superman!
Acaba caindo cedo, mas o Cauã avançou em elevador. Cauãzinho!
13-7. No, that's not the score for the first game. It's actually a score for the second game. And no, EG didn't win it. Loud won it. That's right, because they won EG's map pick. Yeah, we're just living in the upside down. Good news is that means we're going to a map 3. That's right, folks, for the match that will determine who moves on to Madrid. It couldn't end any other way. Golden Boy back here once again with Ender. We got Mimi as well as Vanity to discuss everything that we just saw. And I think it's safe to say, guys, that this was the Loud that we had expected to see out of Ascent. The Loud that puts the pressure on their opponents and makes them make mistakes. We got literally that here at Icebox.
Honestly, something tells me that during this past week, EG was putting the majority of their time on Ascent, and Loud was putting the majority of their time on Icebox. Both teams knew what the other wanted to pick. So in a way, it almost makes sense that they came in with a very good plan.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I think the prep from Loud on this one was excellent. In particular, I think the Harbor Viper with these Flood retakes really punishes the way the CG comp wants to play. It's kind of like stage-based. You throw out your first Gecko, you throw out your first Sonic sensors, you collect it, then you go into the next layer. But this comp waits for that utility to be invested and then is instantly flooding back in on these retakes and was so punishing, especially in that second half. But even going into that first half as well, Vanity, Loud was looking excellent.
I think something to look at is Loud was 8 of 9 in post plants. I would assume if you look at EG's last match in against EG or G2, they probably won the majority of their post plants, and they didn't do that here. They were like 3 for 7, which is something that you kind of need to rely on with a comp like this. You need to win your late rounds.
Yeah, we were talking between maps, and you mentioned that you were pretty surprised that EG went into this same comp again. You were surprised that they were playing the Deadlock for the second time in a row. Do you think it was a mistake to go back into this comp?
I think going into Deadlock back-to-back weeks without changing anything is pretty difficult because the agent is so, like, it's very strong in, like, a, what is the word?
Like when it's the first time you're seeing it, it's like a gimmick.
Really strong and like a closed gimmick. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But I think using it long-term is pretty difficult because of the limited use case. I think it's something you need to pull out here and there. Like you can use it as a secondary comp, but I think using it as your primary comp, the Deadlock doesn't get a ton of value.
Yeah, and also something that I had really started to tack onto was it really did. We were talking about this briefly. It just felt like EG weren't really, like a lot of guys were just trying to make something happen. And I felt like we saw a little bit of that in Ascent, and we definitely got a little bit of that in Icebox, where players were just trying to make ones happen and just see if they could make a play occur. Do you think like that also could have potentially been a like bad play there for EG there?
I definitely think the team play looked significantly worse on this map for EG compared to Ascent. I think on Ascent, they were always together. Always
I'm not crazy.
Yeah, for sure. I think Loud also realized, like, they were making a lot of mistakes on Ascent, and they kind of, like, okay, guys, we need to be better. Yeah. They showed that they're capable of it, and then we'll see what happens on Sunset. But Loud plays a cool comp, so you guys will like this.
Yeah. I will say, though, that, like, defensively, like, from looking at how EG almost need to play, is they do need some individuals taking risks. I would say, on the other hand, though, when they're looking to walk forward and fight, doing it into less, the man was an absolute monster, especially on that first half. Don't look at the funny line. It's not funny.
I disagree wholeheartedly. That is freaking hilarious.
No,
more or less more.
It's unoriginal, Golden Boy. It's
I don't care. Okay.
We're not going to give him the time of day.
I do got to say, though, man, Les is just slotted into this role of being like the guy on Loud. So
he was the guy last year. People just didn't remember because of Ospas. He's always been the guy.
I know, right? That's crazy. It's like, what was the joke that we said last week? It was like, he was the guy, the only other person that could possibly take the air in the room was Ospas.
He was the second best player in Americas. And unfortunately, that was after his teammates.
And that's why he kicked him, so he could be #1.
Wow, drama starting here. True. We didn't say it, Ender did. You can find him on Twitter. No, in any case, so let's go ahead and see where we are right now with the map update and how things are breaking down. Because as I had mentioned, 2 13-7s, the map picks for each side going the way of their opponent. And now we find ourselves here on Sunset. Now, Vanity, I want to bring this over to you because when we were looking at the map picks and bans, I remember vividly you saying you wanted to see Sunset. Tell the viewers why.
I mean, I don't want to say they're comp, but it's similar to Ascent.
Okay.
Very similar. In practice, it plays really well. I think they lean into their strengths really well. They take the space. I think something they didn't do on Ascent that they do really well on Sunset is, like, splitting up.
And by they, we're talking.
Sorry about Loud. I think Loud failed on Ascent to take the space with the Viper Omen that they usually do with the extra flashes they have, and I think it's something they're very good at on Sunset, and it's something they'll probably lead on this match.
Yeah, something Loud has historically always done is they tend to have kind of a comp that they make their team identity. Last year it was the Harbor Viper. This year we've already seen this triple flash no dive be played on 2 of their maps in their pool. So it definitely wouldn't be surprising if they go into something similar on Sunset. I think that can really work on this map. That initiator utility on defense is great to be always fighting for that extremity control. And as we saw from Sentinels last week, it's so strong in the retakes as well.
That's what I was going to say, is there's already been a few teams around the globe that have played no dive on this map. And I think a big reason because of that is how the A site operates. Because you can wrap around both sides, it's very hard to actually, get value off of like dashing forward off of the utility sometimes. So there will be a slight wrinkle on this. Instead of a KO, it is a Sova, so a little bit more information here, as opposed to having that third flash of a KO.
I think that Sova is also quite important on this map, because you're 9 times out of 10 going to be playing into a Cypher, and breaking those strips can be really pivotal on your attack. And as we see on the other side, EG going to be going back to that same comp that we saw versus G2 Vanity.
I think something that they're going to need to do is adjust their game plan, because they look like an icebox. They went into the same game plan, and just Loud made it look really easy.
But are they capable of doing that? See, that's the reason why I get so nervous about this, only because this is a team that's coming into it with not a lot of experience as a unit, whereas Loud on the other side, you have the General and Sadak who could lead the troops to victory. We'll see where the chips fall for this one, but for now, let's send it over to your casters to call the final map of this competition, of this particular series. It's, of course, Ventsilly and Riff.
So it all comes down to this final map, and GB mentioned it. Sadak, the General, that could really guide his roster, his soldiers, to make it through and potentially qualify to Madrid. But for EG, they haven't changed anything whatsoever, and you don't have tape to actually play against Loud right now on this map. So we definitely have to know is they might fall back into the same protocols that could get punished here by Sadak. But, you could always believe in this roster. You could always believe in Potter as well. To fix those mistakes that they had against G2, that tight win that they had in overtime against G2 to make it to this spot right now. How will they clean that up? As they start off here on the attack.
I love the fact that we get EG on attack first to see if the protocols are tightened up, if the flashes are able to be used instead of kind of the flash hits and then they mill about and then use it. There was a few seconds between what they needed to sync up. No pushes right now from Loud, really, to get any control in the extremities. They are peaking where they would safely. Oh, Cowan Lean, though. That peak counts big time.
Even spotted Apoth holding back towards the link. That's already Spike also falling down. So you already see Loud pivoting back forward. But as they're trying to answer back through the market, Joggermill is able to even up the tally. A 4v4, EG picking up the spike and falling back. Not deciding yet where they want to pivot, just in case Apoth could get a little bit more from this link side.
Yeah, good time to wait for Faultline to come back up here. They can re-hit. Look at Nature's positioning. He can go right across into elbow, and the team's going to try to take on Tui's. That's the flash to come through.
Does that a lot there from that B link, forcing now Tui's to fall back into sight. Also, he's the only defender on this A site. Double flashes. He's running all the way back, fully blinded. Sadak through the smoke. Gets a lucky one onto Superman. Joggermill at least gets the plant. Things are going to get difficult right now for EG. The cage misses, so that allows now Loud to move forward. Trying to bait out the shots with the camera, even getting shot back by less. Only now 2 players alive for EG, holding out towards the link. Now the swing, the timing's perfect for FuseK though. Ooh. Allow now Loud to get the backstab in the pinch. The defuse as well for the pistol.
FuseK, nice timing. Pretty late on the lurk there to catch off guard Evil Geniuses. And a little bit of mid pressure to A pressure. So EG got to do a bit of sightseeing on the map, if you will, trying to learn what that pistol round might look like and where Loud's setup may be for these base rounds. And they do see the Breach playing left side, Omen playing left side. So still info to be gained there. Even Loud coming up with the defuse. So they're going to feel good. Moving into the next one, lots of Bulldog buys and that Vandal here for Loud, feeling confident in the money, so expect them to stay back and anchor each other on these fights. They do not want to lose those.
Standing ahead.
Yeah, quick scan. They get an idea that there could be somebody coming through main here.
On's a little bit deep though. Sadak's able to play a forward position. Shock darts to do some chip damage too, allowing and forcing the swing out from EG. Blocked off by his smoke. Seems like that was thrown on the attack here for EG. And they'll fall back for a bit. working back towards this A site.
Two shock darts gone now. Apoth still with 2 trips, so once they get to the site, if they can set up a post plant, hardly any way for those to be cleared as Loud comes back in. We're getting a few things in their favor.
Yeah. Really just looking for the timing to flood out through this one-way smoke off this fault line.
Oh my.
Han also being thrown.
Okay.
They didn't even use it. They decide to use the camera instead, try to get a deeper fault line to really keep QCK back. QCK's ready for it. He wants to play towards this elbow, trying to get a couple of kills now in his position as this Phoenix. Kawadzine with the support. QCK is also still holding back towards the site. Oh my gosh. That's probably an ult for him for the next round, indeed.
Yeah, just absolutely taken down 1 by 1. Loud's able to clean that one up. Not too much rotation was going to come out of them on a round with guns like that, as EG tried to stretch them thin. Loud locked in place there to anchor the sights. Good little idea, though. We do get how Sadak in B want to play. They're happy to throw in darts and figure out what the movement is right away. Sadak favors that information. And we might even get another one fired up into that top side of B main here from Arrow right away. So there's been 2 rounds we've seen Nature use the utility over towards A. EG may be able to do something with that and fake on Loud right now. This bonus round is going to be big to change the momentum of the map. We do see Nature's in that spot to kind of produce some utility and then rotate to the left side, but to get the door closed on him, and mid control is just going to be to hang out for now and see if there's a rotation.
Well, they haven't given too much of their hand. The camera that Apoth threw actually still only spotted 2Es.
Right.
It didn't really see QCK, so they don't know where the stack is for Loud. Loud has most of their players in this A site. EG still deciding to move towards B, which is the right decision so far in terms of numbers advantage. Sadak looking to make a play, walking down, and decides otherwise. Wants to support with his teammate instead, and now even deciding that they want to play the retake. Apoth with that lurk on the top of the B lane. Beautiful shots to drop 2. And that dwindles down the numbers on a defense from how they wanted to play that retake. So that position was perfect for Apoth.
Great control over mid into market, and yeah, Apoth lurk is always going to be so big for the team. Knowing the patience he needs, how long the round can take. A 3K there against 2Es, who was absolutely on fire last match, and Apoth with the Phantom just able to clean up. Really nice on that round. And like we said, a big round for Evil Geniuses. One of the first times they do go towards B, didn't even really flex towards A too much. Just didn't give Loud anything to work off of in the beginning. Just takes a few to calibrate it sometimes, you know?
Hey, at least you stay calm in the process and didn't spray and pray.
Exactly. Ultimate for QCK here. May get an explosion on this site retake. And it actually looks like Loud may want to pressure from both sides here. Actually, the initial positioning from Kawadzine looked like it might have been a fault line down towards that A main, but they back off.
Nice little play that they did on defense to confirm how many players were out towards the A side, and seeing that it's only Apoth lurking once again, they pivot a lot of the defenders back towards B. For EG, though, it's been a 2-2-1 pretty much this whole time around with pressure on this mid control. Information looking to be seized. Fault line to support right behind it, and it works out. Superman was stunned from that fault line, allowing QCK to get the kill. And an early advantage for Loud, but look at Apoth. He walked all the way up. Here's the footsteps. Kawadzine was waiting, but not ready for the shot. Almost gets that second one onto Sadak, but the advantage is still for Loud. Execution now towards the B site. No smokes really to help him out the cross, and that makes it very difficult there for EG to move in for a plant. Losing Superman early was definitely a thorn to the side of the execution.
I was gonna say, no smokes there. You're forced to just contact out and break a crosshair, but everybody's ready in market.
30 seconds left.
Little plant here, extra money possibly for the side of EG. And there's a kill.
Hey, Sadak's low on HP. There's still time, 20 seconds left. He's got Haunt in 3. Maybe bait out another tap here. Looks back towards the spawn. Both players have Loud grouped together. Now there's that Haunt from the front. He gets shot right away. The double swing out. Oh, and the spread from left and right. That was really nice from Loud on how they played out against Derek.
Yeah. Smart movement, good teamwork. Loud come in. play that one just by the numbers game. As it's getting scary, and Loud's gonna have to start worrying about Apoth, his movement, what he's doing, and these openings that he's finding, because the more the Apoth's able to pick apart around like that, I think you're gonna get Jogamo and the rest of the team either hitting a site if they're ready, or really working the map to stretch Loud even thinner. Because that's the initial goal here, right? They continue to stay mid, make sure Loud has to have long rotations, and keep Apoth in a spot that will prevent Loud from feeling comfortable on that rotation. Here towards A, we get all the util dumped into main to see what they get back.
Countering it back with the Nightfall, Hunter's Fury on a defense. Kawazine drops the first two of EG, trying to gain control towards the A orb. A third fully blind. Finally, it gets traded out, but there's only 2 players left. Nature and Derek. Owl Drone to confirm that the players of EG has fallen back, and what a good anchoring hold and a play from Loud. Good coordination.
Kawazine just rolling people over as they try to come around the corner with a utility as well just before it. And now Les not even going to move a finger here. Calls on the rotation out, but just holding here so nobody can move. Loud is doing a really great job of absorbing EG and not giving EG too much utility on these fake hits. They're understanding what is the committal for EG and what is a fake so far. And that's sometimes a really thin line to walk. They just seem to have EG's read, considering only to use a paranoia, a few flashes, and still having util to collapse on the team. The firepower too, you can't deny that. Yep. Kawazine with a 2K, Les with a 2K, so on top of the util being great, the shots are hitting for Loud.
Mimi and a desk have mentioned it, how Les has been the guy here for Loud. Had a great series against Leviathan. And now when he has to step up to the plate on those positions, I mean, it's simple. It's 2 nice clean kills just from crosshair placement. But for him to get a crosshair placement like that is understanding the read moving for the communication to allow for him to move up and get in these positions. But if he has to come down to a clutch, he'll do it as well.
So we are going to get a timeout now from Evil Geniuses. The score line 4-1 in favor of Loud on that defensive side. And EG got to figure out what they're looking at. Yeah, you have the Loud comp, the switches sometimes, but you also have Sadak on his first Sova play in his lifetime. So you don't know what's going to come from the Sova. And Sadak is a mastermind at creating what he needs for his team to create space for them or to work the map. And Sova is one of the best at being able to tell what part of the map you need to be at. So this is just plays into Loud's hand here, that they have so much more information on their encyclopedia.
Yeah. It's on unfamiliar territory for EG, though. They've been in this situation on this very map against G2, where even I think their first timeout was being called at like 0-5 on the scoreline, then burning the second one just a couple of rounds later to be actually able to win this in overtime. So to see how EG's been working that map, I mean, they're doing a good job. And they were able to find some opportunities here with these lurks from Apoth towards the middle when they actually add that pressure on that side. Getting shut down immediately and consistently towards the A side has been a pain point for EG's execution. So this time out, you're hoping that it's going to be a little bit more drilled on how they want to take the A side control should they decide to move in that area. But with his lower buy here to start things off, back to the same game plan, holding that mid control for EG.
Man, they love this control right here. How can we make Loud feel uncomfortable, right? That's the name of this strat. Get right up in their face through mid.
Aldrone comes out towards the spawn side, which allows the players to push out towards the market for EG, potentially trying to catch some players off guard. The fault line did hit them. But again, fault line sometimes just a cosmetic. Nice little shots coming out from Loud. Once again, both initiators for EG are the remaining players for the roster. A plant is good enough, at least for now. Another kill would be even better, but it's not going to happen. Loud comes in for the defuse, and they take the lead by 4.
That get the spike down round. Get a little bit of money in the pocket with hopeful kills around. Les does fall, but no guns are retrieved here as all EG members are down. So 5-1 for Loud. And now EG has a chance to start swinging it back in their favor, but it is an uphill battle. It's not just going to be this round. Loud buys next round too. So they're not too bad off right now. Rolling Thunder to come in next round, and we just see market control really contained here. After it happened, Loud figures out they just gather together and clean up the last few members. As much as EG's trying to force the hand Loud with these plays, pushing up mid, getting in their face right away, having Apoth lurk. Very, very good corrections and reads by Loud so far. And you have to expect that. Look at the little hide spot here for Coenzine and Market. He's using this. I was wondering if they would use that. It is kind of scary, though, if you're there for too long. Somebody's just going to spam it. But neat little trick Loud has with that wall and Market to scoot somebody in and back to mid, Vans.
Yeah, and EG want to try it a little bit more this time around. The smoke on the right to focus on the left. Showstopper on top of that to pivot and pinch in the Market. It works out, flushing out Coenzine, punished by Superman. Rocket is still up to clear the B site. Both players allowed are at the entrance of B main. There's that first pick from Les once again. Good crosshair placement, the basics, traded out by Derek. But QCK still accounted for, gets that kill, has a run it back, but he doesn't need it!
Oh my god.
2 instant kills onto Apoth and Jogimo. Derek on a 1 versus 2. Thankfully, a hat came out just before, allowing Derek to get ready on this 1 versus 2. Another clutch attempt. But both players walking down slowly, couldn't get the surprise kill. And Loud, they're looking good on this defense.
Dan Silly, if we look at what goes into this round from EG, Loud takes it away from them, tears the carpet out from under EG.
Yeah.
One of EG's problems the first time they played Sunset was that protocol on B, a flash through the pillar, getting Jogimo back to spawn in time, but they kept losing fights at that spawn entrance. So they route through Market, they go back through the top side of spawn, so that area is not a problem. They take it from the back. And then they get killed by QCK like that!
Yeah.
After solidifying the strat that has corrected the problem from the first time they played Sunset. What a way for Loud to steal that one back.
And that's the funnies of the macro here of playing the map right now. You lose position towards the back, you gain position towards the front.
Exactly. They didn't have B main control in it. They were paying for it.
Allows for you to play the retakes, and now EG. We talk about pain, now that it's painful in their wallets. Another stinger buy. We're able to convert something with that on that previous map. But this time around, they're not able to do too much in terms of this control towards the B side. This is like the first time that they're actually really adding that pressure and contesting it to really see how Loud's currently playing it. But this is probably just a ruse in the beginning, because now that it's open towards the B main, they're like, oh, it's easy for us to plant now.
Here we go.
In the future rounds, we'll see what happens, though. But for Loud, it's going to be a 5-team retake with the focus on the Market.
Cool modification to this one. Apoth throws a gate out for safety. They still push the main, though. This was an idea they had before.
Nice shot there from Apoth, so that slows down the running back. A rolling thunder available from both sides, so we're going to be dancing around towards this B site. A push towards the spawn, all denied by Loud. Derek, 5 versus 1. Not enough bullets in this stinger.
Vansili, I swear, Boba is their kryptonite. EG could not get past that area. Loud shut them down again. And they even refined the strat there. They had Apoth's gate come out to protect the bounce in when the flash went through, so they could then do a second set of take on the site and get the smoke into the B. Boba, oh my gosh. This again, they just cannot seem to find the ground there. And Loud comes swinging back in. Deja vu on that take once again from Market Mejor. And Loud 7-1 now on map 3 here, keeping the momentum from Icepox rolling Vansili. This A hit, it's gonna be a big flash through the wall. It's gonna hit Sadak immediately, so he's gonna have to back off. Or it's just a fault line. Still considering. Sadak's hardly moved.
Oh, they want to fight this.
Yeah,
Paranoia comes out too. Two-way swings out, but not too much. They hear the footsteps. Now leveraging the one-way smoke to just keep EG at bay. For EG's side, though, they haven't used too much utility on their end, but as we talked about, this B side not being contested too much, it allowed Loud to even push forward. Notice that it's clear, pick up an orb, and really just focus back towards this mid play. They could actually even pinch towards the mid if they want to. Chewy's a little aggressive, yeah.
Ooh.
Falls back on time.
How much util they have for sight? Haunt goes over, nade, smokes. EG should be good to take here. The 5v5 retake. You get this a few times for Sunset. Never mind, Derek.
Nice shot.
Quick flank hit.
And we're not really allowing Sadat to get into position to even throw a recon dart so they could spray through the smoke because they're being pressured so much. EG's doing a great job to punish the amount of space that Loud has given them.
30 seconds left.
Didn't even get a safe plant. Might have to maintain and stay within the site now for EG. 2 versus 5, and you know, money's flowing for Loud. I want to go for these fights.
Last player standing.
Caught with a snake bite in hand. Less falls as Apoth gets the trade onto Jogimo as Tui's now moves in alone. Smoke available. Gets the dink through the wall, but there's that protocol for EG for the rest. Swinging out, and they finally score their second round.
A very important round here for EG. They have a long way to go for ultimates to really be able to cycle some of these rounds and make Loud really pressured into something, because Loud still got money. They're still going to be buying, and we'll check that after the replay. Beautiful shots here from Evil Geniuses. Slowing it down, but taking the space together on that one. They efficiently push back Loud, and that flank catch from Derek was so big. I think Loud's been able to do everything just matter of fact. They've had control of the site. When they use util, they can get the kills. So it was nice to see EG kind of throw a wrench into that rotation where Loud has had free movement. Maybe make them rethink how they get from site to site now, and we're seeing EG back to B. For only a few of these front entrances from main, and everybody's gonna be here. First time we're really seeing this.
Might be a little bit easier to hold the pulse plant this time around. As the off shot denied, off Apoth gets the headshot. Less in the back of the site now. Satchels from Jogimo.
Oh, here they go.
They're fighting for it, and this time Boba's not their demise. A trade-off. Superman on the top, easy kill onto Tui. He's hit by the fault line. As we talk about it being a little bit easier to hold the pulse plans, because Kaladin this time does not have a rolling thunder to work with, so they couldn't flood as much, but I like what EG did right there. We have a little bit different, or similar to that first map. Not allowing Loud to really get into position for these retakes. They want to fight. They want to gain that extra space to not allow Loud to set up.
Yeah, realizing there how much market pressure matters, because it makes everybody in Boba have to turn around. You're second guessing who's coming up the long hallway from market to Boba, and Apoth held down a 4K from this position. So really trying to attack the same strat from different sides, or at least having a bit more to work with on the other side of the strat, and that was having Apoth in market this time. And remember, they all started in B main, right? That had to be a rotation out in Apoth timing. So great job for Apoth to get their ASAP. Push down mid.
Yeah. A rare push from Loud.
Not happy.
With so many rounds that EG has done to set up for mid control to start. Somehow Loud finds the perfect timing to push down towards mid in round number 11 and get a player advantage. Nonetheless, though, the A site's open, EG could get a plant.
QCK hits a shot, and you get to run it back. They have to prevent the Phoenix ultimate here. Already down, trying to hold it with 4 in sight.
Oh, this is annoying. Look at all that.
Oh my God!
Hands the aftershock. Nature gets hit by it, 1 TP'd away. But there's still players flooding across. Shock darts coming through from the spawn site to still hit players down for EG. Derek again, alone. A 1 versus 3. Off by less coming out.
The blender. They put him on the fire. They gave him an aftershock. There was more coming through. They knew they were there. Paranoia on top of that. An absolute nightmare for EG to be inside at that point when Loud dumped the utility in.
Look at that.
Oh my God. And this is actually what they kind of wanted to do on Ascent A take, right? That EG was preventing. We're seeing what that dump of utility looked like, and it's nuclear. Oh my gosh.
That flooded that default plant so much. Almost feels like EG probably could have started typing in team mode. That's a lot of utility to play against.
All right.
Last round of the half now. A fight towards the B main. Answering back, just we're trying to make a lot of noise for QCK. He has this run it back, and he's really allowing his teammates to work towards the mid, the pressure towards that side, because he thinks that EG wants to give him that respect because it's QCK with a run it back. Works out for a bit though. EG still holding their ground at the bottom of the mid. Forcing util to re-clear now for EG. There's that showstopper out. That's gonna nullify at least to, actually he popped it up just before he hit it. So he's still alive. Advantage now for Loud as Sadat gets the pick onto Apoth. I haven't seen that in a very long time.
I haven't seen that in so long. What a heady thought. Like I said, it's milliseconds that's going to decide this one between these two teams. Plays like that. Fast fingers from QCK keeps him alive, and now it's a 5v3. EG have to hit the site. They have all the initiator utility they could want, and some smoke to prevent the retake. It's the best three really that could be alive here. They have such a tall task, though. Even Sadak, if he wants to rip off the Hunter's Fury, he can to prevent this and just cause hell for EG.
Starts with a one-way, but they're wasting a lot of time here. The dart comes out. Oh, Hunter's Fury. At least they don't get the stun there, so Knight might give a chance for a plan. Derek's gonna eat that beam. And the aftershock comes out a little bit too late. Nature in a forward position all the way towards the spawn. Cancelled TP. A flash. It gets canceled by Nature, but he couldn't line up the other kills here with the Vandal. No Wallbangs coming through. Superman and Derek. The Vietnamese duo with Derek with the first kill onto Les. Nightfall then coming out for some information. Doubling up the fight back towards the A site. The lineup on 2. It's a 1v1. Him and QCK. 8 bullets left. The spray comes across. Derek comes in for the 4K in the round and keeps EG alive in this game.
An incredible round from Derek. The awareness to keep moving. The idea that you have to understand that EG's rotations, EG's lurk caused QCK to delay the take on dumpster area from Pawn Shop. That allowed the kills to happen in sight. What EG has been doing came into play this round so big on that retake, slowing down QCK from Shop. The rest of the shots we saw, absolutely incredible stuff and awareness coming out of EG's Derek to win this round.
Derek is back, baby. Win this round, but still far away of trying to tie up the game. You needed some heroic plays to come through. But at least, win or lose today, Nature is very optimistic about EG's future. So let's have a listen.
Oh, I mean, successful for sure, we qualify. That's like the biggest thing. I think that we have the tools to do it. We've shown that we've had the tools to come back, stuff like that. We start hot. This is an easy qualification for us. But other than that, just show our hearts out, you know, like this is only the start of the year. There's a lot of progress to be made for a team that has 4 new players. So for us to be in playoffs feels really, really good, but let's just show that like we can improve from this map, like these maps alone, very well.
They have been improving from just these maps alone. Nature knows it. Nature builds the team up, and he's been doing an amazing job coming in as a new IGL.
Yeah, I mean, on the top of that, when you're looking at EG, what they did during the offseason, they didn't have too much time to be able to practice because of this whole jail situation for so many players that won champions last year. And this roster was formulated like, what, a couple of weeks before America started. But at least for Potter on her side, though, she was also mentioning that it didn't really matter too much that they had less time to practice because they had more time as well to be able to see other teams play and adapt to that play style. And then it just comes down to the fun and the vibes and hopefully to be able to bring it back. And the fun and the vibes definitely were shown here on that Derek clutch in that last round of the half. An opportunity now for EG to bring it back here on the defense. But again, it took a lot of big heroic plays for EG to get it to the score.
Yes, yeah.
Seems drilled and well protocoled to potentially take the series so far.
In professional sports, they say the best time to score on your opponent is at halftime. I'd say a 4K from Derek is one to get the blood flowing for Evil Geniuses here. And we're back now into the second half of our final map here. Masters Madrid on the line. EG allowed. EG down now as the map continues to rotate around a push here from EG to pressure A.
Loud's just trying to delay so that this double flank could happen. Nature with the jump spot gets cut off. Caught off guard, but at least he's able to stay alive for a bit. But as he fights towards the spawn, you don't know that there's actually 2 players back there. Like a QCK already walked in, but elbow was not cleared by Loud. It allows for this 1-to-1 to happen. The foot back towards the spawn to give EG an advantage, but the plant still comes down. It's gonna be flank after flank again. Sadak from the backside. Frenzy took a bit, but Nature's from the spawn, trades it right back. They also have information on QCK out towards the spawn, so Les is alone. A 1v1 in this corner. Wins that second one against APOD, and that turns it around for Loud once again. Nature at 8 HP. After shot to try to clear QCK back. But it's really well planned here for the last two players of Loud. The tap on that spike, even hot hands from the front of A.
Oof.
And less. Like I said, man, when he needs to step up to the plate, when he needs to come up huge, he definitely will, and especially with that 4K.
Yeah, but Ghost there, operator before, doesn't matter. Give this man an arsenal, he will lay them down. Beautiful shots here from Les. They had to chase Tui's all the way back to spawn, causing more time for that Loud to have insight. And the hits through. Seeing that hot hands come over the wall makes you think of just how many walls hot hands can go over. The pretty low ceiling to the walls on Sunset, or you have windows to throw stuff through. So QCK have a field day around here trying to find places to line those up. 3 again pushed for EG towards A, but they won't have their B main control. Looks like they're still trying to tempt it. Just on the other side of that smoke. A lot of the times we saw Supermen get into this area in B main, whether he had a judge or he was backed up by APOT to take out 2 or 3 members of the opposing team. Here, EG's not really messing with B main, fearing that util from Loud.
Yeah, Loud definitely has, as you can see, these 3 players working out towards that B side. Good ways to counter a judge in the smoke. Now a drone that could come through, flashes in the smoke, close range, flashes long that goes behind the wall too. Won't really allow EG to get good positioning here on the lurk plays or the sneaky plays from Superman with this judge, but we'll have to see. In the later rounds now, as Loud gets the plant in round number 14, EG full classic mode. Might be those situations. I mean, look at Les, he's very close to a pit, so EG has to decide now. Do we want to make it expensive here against Loud, or do we just not want to allow Les and for the rest of Loud to really start funneling these ults?
Full classic mode does allow for a little bit more util retake, but EG's not really getting there. QCK and the team have pushed up well. Stinger dropped, not too big of a loss there. But nice kills. That down is a big one. EG.
He understood the flanker though. Aftershock then comes out, and now we're just, I mean, it's easier to spray. It's out towards the wall. That clock is ticking down. There was some hope at some point until those 2 players towards that B main just stopped EG's really attempt to go for that retake.
2 expected rounds. Solidified now by that side of Evil Geniuses. Can they get the bonus is the question. It almost feels necessary with the scoreline right now and what Loud will be able to force onto EG the way they've been trying to make EG play their game. And EG has to keep the momentum here, and they do carry Derek's 4K for that last round of the first half now into the second half. Guns around, still some stingers here from the side of Loud. With those purchases, they are not able to go fully into the buy for the rest of the team. Shots, Jogamo, Derek, beautiful coverage on A for the shark attack.
Definitely want to fight that back. Not allowing these orbs to be farmed here for Loud. A little bit easier positions with the comms that you have now for Brazilian team to really get QCK up as soon as possible and to run it back. So great deniability, spikes down out in the open. Sadak and Les together in a bonus. Just trying to keep them back with the shock darts, but EG is ready for that.
Yeah.
Perfect trade. Jogimo with 3 in the round, 3 away from an ult, and EG's 5 from tying it up.
That's a great point. Getting those ultimates, being able to flex Loud off the site just by pressing R. And Jogamo, honestly, just holding these positions is fearless at this point. They have to be building each other up. The way they're trading, the way they're fighting, it's everybody's in on the same play, and that's what makes it look so good. I mean, both teams are signing up for that right now. Loud hits, they hit hard. EG hits back just as hard. I feel like we can get EG springing up here if they can find a few more.
Trying to find him. They're pushing down early, down towards mid to start. And Apot's been in this situation before, in this position. First flash, he avoids it. Meanwhile, he lost his teammate on top mid. So he's really on an island now. Here is the pivot and a rotate on the left side. Looking for the perfect timing through. The fault line might come across if there was contact there from Apoth. But they decide not to go for the trap play. They know now that the pivot's towards this A side where Derek has to be ready. He's good for those 3. It's clean!
You're kidding me.
Spike once again down at the same spot. Les trying to squeeze through now towards the left side of A main. He's being spotted now by Nature. taunt being thrown out, and they definitely decide to fall back and now want to play the power of numbers again. 4 versus 2. Being pinned, Apoth is even also flanking.
You just have to understand how much that shouldn't happen. And not an error from Loud, but Derek being able to place 3 shots like that without timing to get swung. And literally pulling everything out of the hat that they need to right now to make these rounds come true. Beautiful stuff from EG. Loud, however, never count them out.
Exactly. When you give them that space and that respect, Loud could take advantage of it. 12 seconds left, forcing out a Rolling Thunder on top of that. And Tui's made it through the smoke for that kill onto Nature. The run through, the bait! The flank from behind! What? Loud pulling magic out of a hat, and to convert the round.
It's like they're in a playground. A is their jungle gym. How do you play that to catch Superman off guard, who's actually been having a rougher game than usual? Superman was him the past few games we see, but Loud is not allowing that to happen in these 1v1, 1v2 situations. They are solidifying them with tricks of the trade or utility to lock it down for sure. We'll get back into it. Loud pick up another one. That's going to be so tough for Evil Geniuses. The money gets reset as they only were able to grab that 1 round. Back onto Stingers. Back onto a low buy.
Back to the basics. That's a camera trap play. And you see how Loud answers back to it. A wall comes up. They're still pushing through with this lower buy. And all getting denied. So frontline paranoia. All well done here by Loud towards the end. Superman trying to capture timing off the Owl drone. Loud on their way to a flawless. Also map in series point. Madrid in the sights. As a plant down, not even needed. Derek falls. Wow.
Loud, honestly, such a strong first half on the defensive side has set them up to have this not relaxed second half, but one where they can stretch themselves, they can push, they can take these fights without really having to worry, because they have such a padding of rounds. I'm sure Sadak has so much he could be using right now in that brain of his, but only has to pull from the few, the push, to find EG, and let's bring the fight to him right now in util dump. It's really working out. So EG is pressured from a few sites. They're trying to look at that B main control we just saw from 1 round. They've been 3 on A main most rounds. But Loud is waiting so long that early pressure from EG usually results in them going back to a defensive positioning, holding other angles, with 1 staying out at A main, and then B main has to back up because they need market control now. So that little wait from Loud is really separating EG's fundamental-based defense. Once they get out to mid, Apoth control, EG kind of constructs a little bit better of a strat that stops Loud from pushing, but that mid control has been tough to get. We see lineups from fault lines ready on it. I think everybody knows it's going to be a trap once you get in there, so we have been avoiding it for now. Let's see how they play this one. Again, towards B main to start us off is EG. They're not really in a setup position right now, but they're going to be lurking, it looks like, to be a little bit pushed up on B main here.
It comes down now to Nature and the rest of EG to show their resiliency. 7 rounds behind to try to bring this into overtime. Now, I think they burned all of their timeouts now. The calls have to be good. The confidence has to come back. And that's Superman moving out towards that billboard in the front of B. All of Loud continuing to play very passively towards the back because of this type of play style that EG's been doing with this forward aggression on the extremities from time to time.
A little bit of a change. Cypher trips around just so they can keep map control. Cowanzine hits Superman, though. They've known they can find that fight normally. And it is Cowanzine to start us off the first blood.
Even Derek left his teammate just to clear out middle to make sure. Trying to leverage now the Nightfall potentially for a retake. Hunter's Fury out. Cowanzine getting the wall bang. That's 2. Actually the Nightfall down.
Oh my gosh.
Now they're Rolling Thunder out for the post plant as well, just to secure the plant down. There's only 2 players left. It's Nature and Apoth up against the whole team of Loud. In great positions now, needing only those last 2, and Loud has so many ults to work with this round to make it painful for EG. But if Loud could win a 2 versus 4, potentially EG can as well. Full kit for Nature. Apoth alone. Apoth dropped by Cowanzine. Ace being looked at by the fans. Nature with the kill. Kalenzine hunting him down, and Nature denies it. But 1 HP remaining in that pit. There's still Util out for the pulse plant. There's no time left. Sadat gets the kill. The sun sets for EG's journey, but you do have Loud qualifying for Madrid.
With a new composition. Sadak, his first Sova here, calling the shots, playing a new agent, and still being able to find, what is that, 8 on top of the score, 13-5 on our last map. These teams absolutely came out to counter each other. The Death said it, we saw it here, just night and day on each other's maps of how they were able to steal it away from each other. And then it did look like it got to the outlier. That sunset we go back to, and Loud really good at the lurks, finding some in spawn in the middle of the round. Reminds us of the old Nats in his lurks on Icebox. Like, the way Sadak is able to control the team, the way the team works as well in their 1v1s, and the fact that they keep bringing this composition back that is almost a universal composition of agents with just a few changes. They've almost found the golden goose.
With the updates that's been happening, we had question marks of what the meta could be looking at when you're kicking things off just for the VCTs across all regions. Sometimes some are saying it's double controller, some are saying it's double initiator. Or for Loud, why not double controller, double initiator here? As they're playing so great. A couple of changes going through, but you talked about it. Not only Sadat calling so well, but the amount of roles that he's playing under this main core.
It's incredible.
Composition. He's playing KJ, he's playing Sova, he's playing KO, he's playing Sky, he's playing everything right now to allow QCK to be very comfortable in the role that, again, it's a different